Happy 4th of July, everybody.
Oh, I forgot
Woo!
to hit unmute. Hang on. Sorry.
Woo, woo, woo.
We'll
4th of
try that
July.
again.
America. America. 4th of July. Holiday. Holiday road.
17 million driving day.
Yeah, so, 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 so.
Not for the puppy dogs.
Woof, woof, woof.
There he is.
Woof, woof, woof.
Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Is that it?
If you want, you can play more. You don't have to.
Uh, nope. Get it. Get it.
Well, happy 4th, Michael.
Yeah, man. What'd you do today for the 4th of July?
I actually worked.
Oh, man. They didn't give you off patriotic, have the day
Clearly,
off.
sir, you've never worked retail.
I wouldn't be able to, man. They locked me up.
Well, but on the bonus of it is I work in the supply chain side of the retail, and I work Tuesday through Friday. I work 4 10-hour days, and I have Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. It's a dream job, and it hurts on the body some days, but it doesn't necessarily hurt the paycheck all the time. And there are still idiots in my neighborhood shooting off fireworks. If anyone heard that.
Yeah, that's the day for it, man. It'll be the whole weekend. They don't. They're not going to let up. They're going to
Oh
be the
yeah,
whole.
I'm sure. My first year living here, there's a gas station directly that way, less than 100 yards, and the guy that lives on the wall on the other side of the gas station, oddly enough, set off what appeared to me as almost a professional size fireworks show on 4th of July. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, if that fucking gas station explodes, I'm incinerated.
Yeah.
But I stayed and watched the whole time. I didn't ever once sat up from it at all. But
Hopefully,
Sherry.
hopefully it doesn't blow up on you, man.
Well, I think the city made him stop doing it because he hasn't done it for a while. And
Yeah.
the very next year following that, or maybe it was last year, I don't remember when, but very, very recent. I've only been here 3 years, so he set his backyard on fire one year. Not once, but twice. And the fire department came and put it out not once, but twice. So I think they talked to him, or somebody did.
Yeah,
Or he moved. I don't know.
I used to do it professionally back in the day. I was kind of looped into it because I don't even remember how I met these guys. I met them at the Jones Beach Amphitheater actually, and I had gotten a security job. I was 18 years old, and then just security at these places. So it was Jones Beach, yeah, and these guys are coming through with fireworks stickers on their vehicles, and I'm like, how do I get into this? Because the security thing was nowhere, and they were like, hey, you can come to our fireworks school upstate, and blah 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 blah, and work for us, and I did. It was
Excuse me, did you say fireworks school? I would like to attend that. I'm a amateur pyromaniac.
Yeah, I grabbed my friend Mike because he was in. At that time, we were working for bands and doing whatever, but that didn't actually pay, so you still had to have a regular job. You know what I mean? So I took my friend Mike. We went upstate, did the thing, learned how to make all kinds of fireworks. We actually made our own shells.
Oh, that's cool.
4-inch, 5-inch, 6-inch, nothing bigger than 6, and they bought the rest. So they had 12-inch shells and stuff like that. But yeah, we shot at Jones Beach Amphitheater on Long Island, Rye Playland, just up Westchester way, that type of thing. And then after them, I worked with Zambelli Fireworks shortly, just for I was 6 months, but there was an experience, And then we used to use flares, road flares back in the day, going into the fuse. So it was called black match, and then the black match goes into a little cardboard tube. It's like paper cardboard. Once it hits that cardboard, it goes 30 feet per second. So when you got your road flares, you got your head down, you put your hat on. I had long hair, so we had to wet our hair down in our hats, and then start shooting show out of these tubes, man. And I mean, these are steel tubes, so you're like boom, 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 right in your face. You don't actually get to see the show because you're too focused on what you're doing. You know what I mean? Setting it off. Sometimes they go up and they land. There's a company called Ruggieri, which is a French company, and they make fireworks. They have a 4-inch shell. They stack them on top of one another, so they're real tall, and they don't put enough lift charge in to get the shell all the way up. So usually the last one falls on the ground next to you, and when someone says Ruggieri, to look out for that. That thing falls. I mean, that's a 4-inch shell, dude. That falls next to you and breaks. Oh my God! Yeah. And one time on Long Island, I'll keep it short, at Jones Beach Amphitheater, so it's on the water. So you got Zach's Bay out there, which is loaded with sharks, and then a shell came down and landed on the deck because we were on a barge, so we had to be taken out there by the park police and then shoot the show on the barge. Then we're diving into the fucking water, and I could barely swim, at that time. And then here's the show just going off in our face, and I'm thinking there's sharks underneath us all around, and we had to wait for the park police guy to come back out and get us, which took a while because he didn't know there was even a problem. So yeah, man, the good old days. Now they do it.
I don't have any interest in stories quite like that, but I am a qualified amateur pyromaniac, and 1 year coming back from college in Savannah, I stopped south of the border, and I bought. There's the maximum of the amount you could buy, but I think I bought 4 or 5 or 6 bricks of these things called jumping jacks.
Jumping jacks.
Jumping jacks are really freaking cool. They're the same size as firecrackers, except they have a hole drilled in the side, and they're filled with colored gunpowder instead of just regular gunpowder.
The Chinese call them ground blossoms, and then because you can get. I used to love jumping jacks because they're fun, man. A whole pack of jumping jacks.
Oh, you gotta check this out. So listen, I stopped south of the border, which is a cheesy tourist town now. It was supposed to be a honeymoon suites way back when, but now it's touristy, and they have fireworks, and you can buy all kinds. And I bought the maximum you can buy. I think it was 6 bricks, and I bought 6 bricks or 5 bricks, whatever it was, of these jumping jacks. And I think it's 500 fireworks to a brick or something, maybe 1,000. I'd bring them home, and they're kind of illegal in Maryland, but the evidence has mostly been destroyed. We discovered quite early on, we were standing on a bridge over the creek, and I was like, I wonder what will happen if it goes in the water. So I lit it, and I dropped it over the bridge. We watched it, and it went bloop, and then it started spinning under the water and went bloop, and flew out of the water. And I was like, oh, cool. So we got a big, Home Depot Homer bucket, 5-gallon white bucket, and we filled it up with water almost all the way, like 3/4. And then we had to figure out how far away we were and when to throw it, so it wouldn't burn out in the water. So you had to time it just right. And a lot of times they would go out or they'd miss. But when you got it right, it would sit in the bucket and go, and then just launch itself straight up. It would spin around the walls of the bucket like a centrifuge, and launch itself. I was like, we were so excited about that. We launched, I think, 5 bricks. I have 1 brick left. We had launched 5 bricks of that crap through that bucket. So fun. Hey, Kurt.
We used to shoot fireworks at each other when I was like a teenager.
A lot of people did. We weren't
bottle rocket,
crazy, but that's
bottle rocket war and Roman candle war, or just kind of throw stuff at each other.
I do throw the snap pops at people. Those little white bags, and they throw them. They go. Pat!
No, I mean like bottle rockets or rockets.
I know what you're talking. Yeah, my friends used to have bottle rocket wars. I'm like, you guys are nuts. I'm never coming over to your house for 4th of July. Don't ever ask
big
me.
Rockets. We used to take the PVC pipe and put like a bunch in there, light it up. Hold it like.
This is how good of a pyromaniac I am. I found when I was working at Home Depot, we sell all kinds of different pipe, metal pipe, plastic pipe, et cetera, et cetera. Plastic pipe comes like a rectangular in a wooden thing that comes off with the wood trucks. You have to take it off with forklifts. Metal pipe, which also comes with the wood trucks, unfortunately, it comes in it's like a hexagon, not a stop sign, but a hexagon.
Yeah.
And it's all the same stuff. So you get a hexagon with 30, I think, pipes in one hexagon, and it's banded together. You keep it banded. You get like a metal cutter, and you cut out parts where you can put the wicks. And you light it. It would look like one of those rocket launchers on the side of a helicopter. That's what I want to do. I want to buy a whole roll of Home Depot or Lowe's, 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch metal pipe, and just fill it with bottle rockets and light them all off at the same time.
Yep, you can put a squib on there. Squib's an electronic match, so like in pyrotechnics, you can buy, like 100 bag of 100, whatever. And then you just connect your electricity to it. But and it could be remote too. I mean, you put like a drone.
The good thing about that is you can put them in a sequence too. You can tie off the negative wire to a nail, and then you have the positive wire with it's like a nail or a probe, and you just go and you run it along a strand of nails that each nail is attached to a different squib, and they go off.
Well, you're in Pennsylvania, man. That's the king of fireworks there. You know what? I don't think there was one time I ever drove through and I didn't stop at
professionally sized fireworks around my house right now. And I sent out a flyer this week. I said it to everybody. I said, listen, you can set off any fireworks you want, but if they land on my property or burn my house down, I'm shooting back, but it's with a shotgun instead.
Yeah, Black Cat fireworks, man. I used to stop there all the time.
Yes, those are the kind of jumping jacks, that Black Cat jumping jacks, that exact brand.
Yeah, the good old days, man. I grew out of that shit a long time ago. When I had the kids, it was fun. You do
those. I think I have a brick somewhere still, but it's old gunpowder. It might not work.
With kids, you do your fountains and whatever. In New York State, fountains are legal, but you're not allowed to do aerials.
In Maryland,
if you own like a chunk of land, they don't mess with it.
Maryland is right next to D.C. Maryland and D.C. they're legal, but Maryland they're not. And in D.C. they're only legal during the week of 4th of July. So you can't bring them across the border, but people do. But the only things that are legal in Maryland are snakes, little black things you light, and then it makes a snake. Sparklers and ground showers. That's it. And little popper snaps. Things you throw that snap. Those 4 things. That's it. No other firework is legal.
That's crazy. I know. Same for Long Island. Meanwhile, you can get them everywhere, like everywhere.
Yeah. Maryland is surrounded by D.C., where it's legal for the week. Pennsylvania, where it's legal all the time. North Carolina, South Carolina, where it's legal all the time. What the F? I mean, they probably make as much money off of tickets of people bringing stuff, especially around now. They get to catch everybody at this time of year. But why not just capitulate? They did with
I
weed.
understand that they're legal to sell in Pennsylvania, but not to use in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
So buy them.
our fireworks stores are open year round, dude.
I know they're open, but to use them, I understand that to use them
You can use them on any weekend that
was
you like.
illegal.
Any weekend that you like.
Let me see. Here we go.
Hey, Steve, what's going on, dude? You losing
There
internet
we
or
go.
what? Flipping in and out.
Joe disappeared, man. I think that they got. I think the aliens got him.
Well, did you see earlier? I think he got teleported up. He sat down, he opened his shirt. There was a bright flash of white. I couldn't see anything for like a minute, and then he was gone.
I know when he opened his shirt, I was blinded.
Yeah, it was like a flashbulb. I was like,
I was like, ah.
Well, I mean, you heard the tragic story. Joe went to to one of the professional baseball games down there. Was it the Padres, his team? I don't know. But anyway, he's watching the game, and the umpire comes up and asks him to leave because the glare off of his belly is blinding the pitchers.
Ouch! That hurts. Oh man, I don't know. It was a crazy week.
We had the heat dome. Did you get affected by the heat dome last week?
Last week, yeah, right. Right now, it's not bad. Yesterday wasn't bad. I'm glad because my power was out yesterday for 8 hours. So I'm glad that wasn't bad,
Well, I'm amazed. I work in a warehouse. I'm amazed that a building constructed strictly of some synthetic materials, but mostly concrete and steel, and the roof is mostly steel, and it's a big open building. There's not a lot of. It's just open space. It's a warehouse, right? That building can retain some heat. Let me tell you. And
it gets hot, yeah, man. I used to hate going to Home Depot. I used to hate going there at Lowe's. It's so fucking hot in there. Hot.
I used to work in the store, dude.
Yeah. I was of the mindset that if I didn't have to be, I was dragged there, but if I didn't have to be there to pick crap out, I wouldn't have gone. You know what I mean? I would have gone at night.
I always loved going to the hardware store. When my dad said, I'm going to Potomac to the hardware store, I always wanted to go. Even if I didn't get a tool or just get to handle the tools there, just walking in to smell the hardware store smell. Every hardware store has that smell.
When you renovate a house, that becomes real old real quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and then you realize that you spend a lot of your time.
Listen, I moved in here, and at the time I was still working at the store level, not in the supply chain level, but the store, and. It's like a 35-minute drive from here to work or to the store if I'm going to go buy something, and I had to go to the store a hardware store period all the time. So, and even though if I go and buy things at my store, there's a better chance we have of winning better success checks and whatnot. But there's a Lowe's 4 miles away. I think it's like 3.8 miles or 3.6 miles away. 5-minute drive. I'm thinking to myself, why am I busting my ass to drive through? Across downtown Hagerstown, get on the highway, get off the highway, go to the hardware store, get back on the highway, get off the highway, drive through downtown Hagerstown again, then back to home for an hour and a half just to buy a hammer. No, I started going to Lowe's. I was like, who cares if my store makes extra money? I need these things, like lickety split because I'm making repairs all over the house. Like we were talking before the break, how the long time maintenance on a house is a different kind of labor than what you would have on a car, which you're making it sound owning an RV is the place to go. So, but anyway, that's the thing is that I've always, our hardware store that I grew up with was called J.D. Heckinger's, and it was warehouse just like Lowe's, just like Home Depot's, and Lowe's is like 1942. I don't know when Heckinger started, but Lowe's started in 1942. But I always knew Heckinger's with the big metal racking, and they had forklifts driving down the aisles.
What's up, John?
That's what I grew up with. And then there's Home Depot and Lowe's. They're all the same, and they all smell the same. And I love hardware store smell.
I gotta say though, between Home Depot and Lowe's, Home Depot had better quality products, especially when it came to tiles, things like that.
Better pricing on flooring.
I trusted that better. I got my Generac generator from Home Depot, and the day I walked in to get it, they were having a sale, an unannounced sale of 500 off, and I got that, and just really, I don't know, they took care of me there, man.
I
When
used
I
to, I
went
used
in
to
there,
restock the generators, and they're very heavy. I used to restock the shelves in the garden department with those, and every time I put one on the shelf, I'd be like, "Me and Jenny was like peas and carrots again."
yep, had an 8K generator. I didn't get a
Yeah,
big one. I got the 8K, which is like they have a 4 or whatever. I don't know. 8K was good because if you know your power needs and you're running off natural gas, you don't want to go overboard. You don't
Is
if you
there
don't
some
need
around?
it, you don't want to do that. You know what I mean? So, but
yeah.
I'll tell
What
you,
was it?
man, with that Generac, when the power went off, that thing kicked on 30 seconds later. It powered the whole house, powered the air conditioner, had everything and anything on there. You know, it was good, man. It was really good. The hot tub powered that thing. You
Well,
know,
I
but
used to have
you can
customers come to me
rely
and
on it.
ask me all the time, what was the best generator that they should get? And I said, well, that really depends on what you want to do with it. Do you want to run the whole house? Then you might want to consider getting an extremely large one that's run on either propane, natural gas, or regular gasoline. And they're like, why? I'm like, well, because that's how much you would need to run your whole house. But if you want to run your kitchen or just, you know, 4 or 5 choice appliances, you need to find out how much energy those appliances are going to draw and have a machine that at least outputs at least that plus double, and you'll be okay.
Like what we were talking about earlier for the solar, because I'm in the process of getting an RV, and I'm going to
Yeah.
put 2,000 watts of solar on the roof. But inside, I'm going to have a 24,000 watt Jackery system, and
Right.
then which is battery backup, and then a power bank you can call it. And I also have a 3,000 watt Jackery, which
Well,
is nice
the
because
good
that
thing about your Jackeries is they can be recharged by solar, and they can be recharged by being plugged into a steady source.
right, the 2,000 watts on the roof. I mean that's going into that, and especially I'm going to have two extra 205 amp batteries to store all that electricity. And then really, I mean, you're living in the zone at that point. I mean, you're self sufficient. You got enough power.
Yeah,
God forbid, even if you
living in
ran
the
out of
zone.
power, you
Zone.
still have a propane generator that can charge those batteries in 2 hours.
Hmm.
And then you're going back to having, I mean, if you have like a good 40,000 watts of electricity that you can utilize, that's a lot of electricity. I don't
Well, yeah.
think people realize how much they use and don't use.
Well, and people didn't realize how much they needed when they decided what machines they wanted to run. I said, look, I can get you a machine that does everything, or I can get you a machine that does just a few specific things. And they always wanted to know, how do I find that information? I said, open the door, look in your refrigerator. There'd be a little silver plate. It'll tell you how much energy that thing draws. You get all those numbers up, all those wattages, and bring them back to me. And the machine on here that's best, I'll point out. But I don't have it. You'll have to order it. And this one dude, he came back. He's like, "This is what I want to run." I was like, "Dude, I can get you." He wanted to buy one that was like $400 or $500. And when he got the amount of wattage he needed to power, and I was like, "Dude, I can get you one that'll do that for $200. You really want to spend 500?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Good, buy that. See ya."
Yeah.
I
Amps,
mean, it's really that simple. It's just all you find out how much wattage your machines that you want to run are going to take to power, and you get a generator that does that and maybe a little bit more.
yeah, and the amps times the voltage equals the wattage. You know what I
Right?
mean? That
Yeah.
tells you how many watts you're using. But especially if you're going like really, if you're efficient, using a lot. I mean, let's say you're in a hot area and it's 110 out. You
Well,
want
yeah.
obviously you want to be cool, but there's air conditioning units that are very efficient,
Yeah.
and
The new ducted systems are very efficient. They run off
you gotta know how many
50
BTUs
amps.
you're gonna need. If you've got man, if you got solar on the roof, it's absorbing a lot of heat right then and there in the sunshine. But inside, if you have good insulation, like we were talking about earlier, about the thermal barrier, you're doing all right. I mean, in the winter you're doing all right. In the summer you're doing all right. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people are moving into RVs, man. It's kind of, I don't know whether it's sad or I don't know what it
Well,
is.
I don't think I'm not moving into an RV. I can promise you that, because I have, besides myself and my partner, we have 4 cats and a probably going now on 200 pounds, 180 pound, 160 pound
You would need like two
2-year-old
two
German
R
Shepherd who's very, very active. He needs a backyard, and
you would need like two RVs
Or no, if we went on an RV, we'd have to get him desensitized to driving, and it would have to be a large one, and he'd be the only one that came. The cats would have to stay here.
It's good to have a home base, you know what I mean? But it's also good to be able. It's good, it's good to be able to bug out if you have to bug out, and then have your house on wheels. You got your queen size bed, you got a nice bathroom, you got a full kitchen.
We do have enough carriers to put all the cats in one each in a carrier, and transport them that way. If we had to bug out, we would do that with the RV for sure.
A couple of them I'm looking at have the kitchen inside, really nice kitchen, the whole bit, and a kitchen outside. How cool is that? And you flip up the door and you're outside cooking and chilling out, man.
Yeah,
it's a whole different life. You know what I mean?
I've seen them have like a nice grills that come out the side of the RV to cook off of. Very cool.
And most of the Western states have Bureau of Land Management land. You can camp up to 14 days without paying.
Yep.
You can just move your vehicle after that 14 days. You can literally move it 10 feet, and they can't say anything. They just don't want people living there necessarily.
Hey,
but
let me ask you guys this. Ask you guys this. What do you think of the vans?
Of what?
The vans they have out them like RV vans.
Depends on how much space you need.
RV vans.
Depends on how much space you want. They're okay. They're easier to maneuver. My grandfather had one of those GMC ones. You ever see Stripes? That GMC thing they turned into like an assault vehicle. My grandfather had one of those in that exact same color, as a matter of fact.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did. But anyway, my dad borrowed it, and he took me and my brother and sister, my mom, and a couple of our neighborhood friends. I don't remember, a couple of kids, or maybe they were. I don't remember who they were. We just picked these kids up, and they came with us. And then we drove this thing all around, New York, Ohio, and we went to Boston. While my dad got lost, he pulled over on this Exxon station, and as he did that, he hit the screw or the nut on a fire plug, and it gouged into the fiberglass 2 feet long and 2 inches wide, however big those nuts are. And if he'd have gone another inch, he'd have gone right through one of the hinges to the door, and there are only 2 hinges, and we would have been stuck inside because there was only one way in and only one way out. We would have had to kick out a window or rolled the windows down and climbed out. It was kind of scary, but they were very cool, and they're very big, and they're a pain in the ass to drive. So it depends on, your driving skill, Sean. It depends on how much room you like. I want to get one of those ones that has at least they have like an overhang above the driver's cab where a person can sit. You don't necessarily have to be asleep, but you can sleep there, and there's also a window you can watch forward. I want that.
Yeah, a Class C and Class C plus. Yeah. That's got like the van in front, and then like we were talking about earlier.
It's a little bit bigger than like a passenger van, but it's more like a box truck size.
No, I mean they go 35, 36 feet. I mean, you have it all.
Those things are decked out.
You have it all. I mean, literally, you have it all. With one of those, and especially if they have slides.
I mean, it's just going to be me out there. It's just going to.
Yeah, I mean, the slides go out. You have a lot of room. A lot of them have fireplaces too, and stuff like that. I mean. And then really it depends on what you want to do to it, man. I mean, if you find something with low miles that's 20 years old and you pay $5,000 for something like that, I mean, the new ones are like $80,000. When you look at the price of them, $100,000, and they depreciate so fast. I mean, really, shit, man. If you bought a house 20 years ago for $100,000, it's not going to be worth $5,000 now. It's going to be worth a hell of a lot more. But these are our vehicles, so why bother buying something new?
Well, but there's also, I mean, I don't know what kind of car do you drive, Sean?
I have a 2023 Chevy Maverick, Dodge Maverick. No, yeah. Can you hear me?
You have a ball hitch on the back. Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Do you have a ball hitch or tow hitch on the back?
Yeah.
There are also
I got a tow hitch. I got a tow.
So if you don't want to get a Class C, like a big van, you can get a tow behind.
You can get a trailer. I mean, there's a company called Forest River, and they have beautiful trailers. Well, but they're called destination trailers.
There's two different kinds of those. There's the pop-ups where it's flat, and when you get there,
I'm not talking about
But
That's just
there's ones
that's a
that are
toy.
built that are framed that you can stand in all the time.
That's a toy. You don't want a
Yeah,
toy.
no,
You want something substantial and like you want like something you can live in. But if you're on the road,
Yes.
and then, even if you
Well,
have like
I got 4 more years.
yeah, I mean, but you can go out west, dude, and buy a chunk of land for yourself with a barn or something that you can keep the vehicle at, still have a place, and then still be able to cruise through whatever state you want to and chill out. I mean, there's a lot of freedom. There's a lot of freedom in that. You know, I don't think people know how to be free anymore. I
you
don't
know.
know.
I cannot wait, buddy.
Yeah, my
I
plan is
cannot wait.
Colorado.
Yeah,
I, I, I,
3 more
I love
years.
Colorado.
my only one parameter, Sean, for an RV is that I require it to have an on the fly working toilet. So that means if I'm driving, I can pull over onto the side of the road, walk into the toilet, and not have to hook up to anything and use it, and then get back in the driver's seat and keep going. That's my only one parameter because I'm tired
Right.
of having to, oh, I gotta pee. Oh shit, next restroom is 75
Yeah.
miles. I'm not gonna make it. you know.
You know, like Mike was saying that he wants to go to Colorado. I also want to go to Colorado, but I also want to go to Idaho, Montana, South Dakota, Washington State, Oregon. I want to.
I've been
Even
I've
though
been
the
to
East Coast is a
Colorado,
cool
and
place
it's a
to
very
be,
cool place.
man,
I had a
I
snowball
would
fight
love to be
last
out west. I'd love to be out west.
It's a different way of life out there, man. A lot better as far as I'm concerned, because
Yeah.
people are nicer. It's more real. There's a lot of big
Yeah.
sky. You don't feel like you're jammed in. You know what I mean? I mean, you don't have to drive even if you're in a city. Like let's say you're in Denver, you don't have to go too far outside of Denver between you're in the hills, and you always have the mountains in the background. You know, I mean, there's
Yeah.
always something like that. But yeah, man, the food out there is different. I mean, I think that I work for people out there like Montana and whatever. They're very nice, very very hospitable, very very homey type of thing. And you know what? If you know about homesteading, like Wyoming is doing homesteading, and same for Montana. You could deal with the weather, but if the weather's bad, if you got the RV, you head
There
south.
you go, Shawnee.
People go down to Arizona, man, in the winter. They
Oh,
go down,
Sparky, thank you, buddy.
Quartzsite.
Yes.
Yeah, people go to Quartzsite.
Thank you, Sparky.
I'm kind of a
Yeah.
rock collector. I want to. My friend and I
don't
we
know.
drove into Arizona. We were going to try to stop at this place. It's Jim Coleman's crystal mines, and he sells all kinds of rocks and minerals from all over the world, but some that he mines locally, of course. And I think it's Arkansas that he's in, and we had to drive either all the way to the bottom of Texas to get to Arizona, or all the way across the top of Texas. And Jim Coleman mine was like 80 miles on either direction from the way we needed to go, so we didn't go there. And then we were going to try to stop at Roswell, New Mexico, but same thing. It was like 40 miles divergence from our actual path, so we didn't go there either. But
I know a dude in Arizona who he goes after meteorites, and I guess it's pretty easy for him to find. And then
Yes.
he makes
That's
a
the money.
fortune. He makes a fortune, dude. When I say a fortune, I mean this guy sold one for like $200,000. So and that's all he does all year long is he goes out to these places and he knows
yeah.
where it looks. Yeah, he knows what it looks like after it hits the ground. He digs them up and there
it's
it
a funny
is.
thing you mentioned that because people don't realize this. Things from
My
outer
friend
space,
has a place.
pieces of
My
rock
friend has
hit this earth every hour of every day, every single week, month, and day of the year. Period. Happens all the time.
Well, I wish it would hit Pennsylvania, brother.
I'm sure there are some, but I think it's easier
we
to
don't
find it in
have
the
to
desert
go out
because there's not
west.
a whole lot of undergrowth or overgrowth. And we got a lot of trees. We're a very green, very foresty state, dude. I mean, Bigfoot trek through here, and people don't see them as much.
That's what people say, man.
Yeah,
I want to see
but
one.
Michael was right. Meteorites. It's a ton.
Meteorite.
It's a lot of money, Mike. It's a lot of money.
So here's the definition. Here's the different definitions of the word meteor. Meteor or meteoroid. That's the actual object in space. It's a meteoroid. When it's in space, it's a meteor. When it hits our atmosphere, it becomes a meteorite, or is that meteoroid? I think that's meteoroid.
I know when
And
I see them for sale, they're
once it hits the
meteors.
Earth, it becomes a meteorite because it's an actual physical rock or element we can possess.
I had one time. I had a fragment. You know what I mean? Like
I had a tektite, which is
when
part
I
of
was in
it.
the antique business, I ran across a sample. It was just kind of cool having something like that, you know. But I sold it for a lot of money.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I didn't want to hold on to it.
I got
I'm
about
not sure if I still have it. I think I had a tektite.
I got about
which is
16
piece
grams of gold.
molten,
I like gold.
Gold
I
is
love
gold.
gold. I
is
love
best.
silver.
I was looking. Hey, Sean, I wanted to ask you. I was looking at. I don't know why. I guess Yahoo
Gold
and
and
Google
silver.
and all of them and Amazon have ears. One time we were talking about it. All of a sudden, I was getting advertisements on for Amazon with gold panning pans, and they were all green plastic. Is that the new industry norm? A green plastic?
I'm
Really?
gonna tell you this, Sean, man. I was
Yes.
going to. I'm not gonna say where. 'Cause we're
Oh,
on
that's
the
been
air.
like that for a while. It's been like
I
that
thought
for
they
a
were
long,
always
long time.
like a
I
dull,
was-
like a dull
I
black.
was
And you
going
can
to,
go to a 3D print.
But
Those, that's a long time ago. Those are old timers, man.
I was going through.
Where can you get those?
Online.
I want one.
I'm sorry, Mike. What were you
Sorry,
saying?
Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going through Colorado, man, on Route 50. I'm not gonna say where, but
My
it was
internet sucks.
a real rural area, and
My internet sucks.
I got drawn to something over there. Like I swear there's gold, like a gold vein. Like I got pulled in and drawn in. It was such a weird feeling. I want to go back and investigate, man. But that's where you find it, man. Gold, silver, Colorado, silver state, Silverton, Colorado, named after it. You know, and you got to think that
Yep.
you got to think geology. Think about geology.
I
Things
took
get
geology in
pushed.
college, actually.
Things get pushed to the surface in geology in the ground. It gets pushed up. So I mean, all those years ago when they pulled the gold out of the ground, that was such a long time ago. Don't you think that other gold would be replacing it and being pushed up to the top, man? It makes sense, right?
Well, there are certain places around the earth that they know gold was mined and other ores and minerals are mined out of it, and nothing has come up since. And then we're talking like the Sumerian time mine shafts that are.
But you can't say that
mined.
because people find gold all the time when they pan gold. You can go out and pan it, and people find it. I mean, it's a very common thing.
I forget where I was watching. They said something about the fact that almost all the gold on Earth has been mined out of the Earth, and that there was only something like, and it was a weird number, like 5 million or 5 billion tons, something like that. Wasn't a shockingly large amount, but it was a shockingly low amount too at the same time, even though it was in the billions of how much gold is left in the Earth itself that hasn't been dug out. And,
all I know is.
Go ahead, Sean.
Just go to Alaska and watch Gold Rush on Friday. Look how much they pull out of Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, either way, there's lots of elements out there.
I mean, I'm sorry, but my internet sucks.
Yeah, you sound like you're having a hard time. You're battling. You got storms going through or something, man? The power was out here yesterday.
Yeah, that was a firework.
The powers, is it? I know Mish. She's from Australia. There's a ton of gold down there.
Australian gold, the outback.
Australia's not a very populated place, so it hasn't been, overly mined. I mean, America, we gutted the place.
You go out and come back in.
You know what you can find in Australia too is meteorites.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can sell it. It's especially if it's meteoric iron. I think that's the most expensive kind.
Hey guys, I'm going to go out and come back in. My internet sucks.
Okay, man.
Hey, Joe, what's he doing?
I think he's talking to Linda, or he was. Where are we getting the fireworks from?
Where is this? Let me see. This is
Live fireworks from the
yeah.
this song.
It's supposed to be all over. I don't know. It's supposed to be everywhere. They go from one show to
It's
the
got
other.
to be in the Midwest by now because all of our fireworks, the professional ones, are over with. All we got are Yahoo throwing off, big expensive ones that they can get.
Yeah. But there's Disney and there's Vegas, so I figure I'd keep this up, give people something to watch. It's the 4th of July. I got some good videos to play too and stuff like that. So, but and we got a lot of news to talk about, man. I'm kind of waiting for Joe to get in.
Somebody just flipped in. Is that Sean back again?
Let me see. There it is. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, much better, I think.
There we
So far,
go.
so good. Thank you.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta
I
clear
don't know
that
what
thing
I
out.
did.
You got on a wonky fiber optic cable. That's what happened.
Look at Sparky. Look.
There you go. All right.
I don't know.
Is it even legal to own a
knows?
sloth as a
It's my
pet
life.
anymore?
A sloth?
It's just. I'm sorry. Yeah, a sloth. He meant a sluice. He meant a sluice.
Ah,
A
okay.
metal detector.
Yeah,
It's fun.
Yeah, I know what a sluice
Wouldn't
is.
mind getting one of them and going to the beach.
I
Go
know
to
what
the
a
beach.
sluice is.
Yeah, it depends on what state you're in when it comes to animals.
Yeah.
I knew somebody in Florida that had a kangaroo, a lion, like all this stuff. They just had to get a permit, but
There are quite a few. I guess
Um,
they would call it invasive
know in
species of animals that are illegal all
I'm
across
sorry.
the U.S.
it's expensive enough feeding one cat, let alone a lion. Or
Or
I know
more.
I know in Pennsylvania you're not allowed to use nothing mechanical, no
Huh?
electrical. All it is panning and shovel work.
Oh,
Yeah,
for gold.
you can't use no like a dredge or any. Yeah, you can't do it because the rule is because it will upset the trout streams here in Pennsylvania, and that's the truth.
Well, what if you find a big vein of gold in a mountain? Can you use an explosive on it?
Nah.
It's not mechanical. It's chemical. It's not mechanical. And it's not in the stream. It's in a mountain. How does that affect the trout?
It's Pennsylvania, buddy. It's a Commonwealth state, and it's assholes.
Yes, but they won't tax. Even though it just got passed, we would have never gotten taxed on our retirement money anyway. So, way to go,
screw
PA.
Pennsylvania. You know what, man? For the taxes I pay in New York, it would pay an average mortgage on a house 6 months worth in another state that doesn't have taxes. So
Yeah.
think about the money you lose just off and just give. They take it, they take it, they take it, they take. You know what? What they have a better idea of spending my money than I do. You know what I mean? And look how they throw it away. Look how they throw it away.
Right.
They throw it away. And you look at your paycheck and you still have money coming out.
Look at that mirror in Philadelphia, man. Look at that mirror in Philadelphia with the trash.
Oh, I didn't see that news story. I was trying to watch some news today. All they could do on all the news stations was not say anything about what was going on across the world, and they weren't saying much about this either. Fox had President Trump on, and then the fireworks started in Florida. That's not really news.
there's a lot going on.
Yeah, I know. It was pretty weird.
Yeah, why does the news ignore other stuff only on this holiday? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know.
Because they're assholes.
We do get this
We're
kind of
gonna
cool
put
footage,
Joe
though,
in
which
the
is
show.
pretty neat.
Joe's
Did Joe
probably
put
on
back
the
on it
phone.
again?
Well, I think CNN got caught in a lie, from what I understand.
Oh.
Which one? You know, dude.
I don't know.
You know, when you see enough of it, you realize what the media is all about and all about it. The people that get sucked into it and they can't sleep at night because of this crap and whatever, or they're panicking. You know, the media does that. They hate bait, they raise bait, they mess with people psychologically. You know, it's just so horrible. And you know what it is? I was thinking the other day. I'm like, it's just ugly. It's ugly. The people in Hollywood are ugly. The ones who went to that Bezos's, $50 million wedding, they're
Oh,
all just equally as ugly as one another. And I'm like, it's just such a world I never wanted to be part of. You know what I mean? Like, and when I see it, it's sickening. It really is, man. But that's what they are. And there's a lot of people out there that just get focused on it because of their own lives. On my, their own petty, shitty lives. On my show tomorrow night, I'm going to be talking about Mesopotamia. I'm going to be talking about the original religion and also their take on it, which is basically, if you really read between the lines, is that they were aliens. They created what humans are today for whatever reason unknown. They think they were just used as slaves to get gold, and then a lot of them thought that was that planet Nairobi, right? That has a 3,000-year orbit around the sun, so it's something that we can't even see. But when it came close around, they were able to come to Earth and get all this gold. And then they thought when they had enough, they left.
Yeah, they didn't just mine gold, but that's the main story. That's Zechariah Sitchin's.
That's why humans were so fixated on gold. When people see everybody loves gold. I don't know. It's just fun stuff. It's nice to touch. It's nice to be around. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting because probably both like silver doesn't affect me like that. I like silver. Silver's fun. It's cool. Platinum, same. But gold is gold. It's a whole different world. But anyway, I'll be talking about that on my show tomorrow night, and it's very interesting about how the universe formed. Their whole idea of how the sky god, the earth, and Mother Earth, and all the other stuff. So yeah, it'll be cool, man. But gold, dude.
Yeah.
Gold's up in their hills. Get up, get the gold. Like it's Yosemite Sam. I can see Sean as Yosemite Sam. You gotta get up the gold.
Dexter would, yeah.
There's companies that would pay you.
Yeah, but you put the right hat on Sean, and then it becomes Yosemite Sean.
There's companies that will pay you up to $1,000 a month to wrap your RV in their advertising.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? You need that Yosemite Sam.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. You can put Disney on there. Like, woohoo.
That'd be cool as hell. Hey, is Joe doing another show?
I don't know.
No idea what
I
Joe.
see
I thought
him
he was talking to Linda.
Oh, I don't know. He's talking to somebody.
Talking to
I
somebody.
don't know.
I think he's on the phone.
Oh, okay. Here's Valiant Thor, if people know who he is.
I gotta wait
When
till
you're
he comes
doing-
on before we talk about Puff Daddy because I'm gonna gloat that I was right. So,
Yeah, I agree, Thor. That's absolutely right. I don't think they have all of our, best interests in mind.
You
We
know
got my
what, Mike? It was funny because when I read all that shit from the judge and stuff like that, I said Michael was right. The first thing I said, Michael was
it
right.
makes sense, man, because they had a terrible prosecution. They were messing. They were talking about stupid stuff. I mean,
Yeah. They were. They didn't have any evidence.
applesauce on cheeseburgers and whatever. Are you serious? You want to put a man away for life, and his whole life, even if he's an asshole, and he is, but that's a long time for Rico. And I didn't know how they were going to prove Rico. And you got to get 12 people to be unanimous in that decision, man. 12. So one person on the odds that destroys the whole case, But they didn't prove their case. They got him on the prostitution. it's gonna in federal court things run concurrently, not consecutively. So if they give him 4 years for one, 3 years for the other, whatever, it's all gonna be at the same time. If he gets
No.
yep,
There
if
we
he gets
go.
more than a couple of
Here
years,
we go.
All right. Wait, is this thing even working? How many times am I in here?
You're in here.
I
It
see
looks like you're in here twice now.
So
Right
so
now.
I'm just
Yeah, I am.
just gloating about Puff Daddy that my description was right. Oh, there he goes, man. Where'd he go?
Oh, somebody lit their backyard on fire. The fire department just went out.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, I'm hearing y'all like 4 times.
Hello.
There's 4 of us, so I guess
hello.
that makes sense.
Hello.
What the fuck?
Hello.
Hello.
No, you don't go 3 Stooges.
The only thing I like what the judge did was kept his ass in jail till his sentencing.
Yeah, that was obviously
Because he really thought he was going to go home that day. And the judge says, "No way. You wait till October 3rd."
No baby oil for you.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
No get out of jail freak out party for you, Mr. P. Diddy.
Nah. Yeah. I mean, I would have loved to see his face when the judge says, "No, you're not going home. You're staying."
That prostitution charge is
How
very
many
thin.
years do you think he'll get, Mike? About
I don't think he's going to get any time at all because he's got a year time served.
but
He gets sentenced in October, so he'll be a year from that point on.
Yeah, he'll get time served however many months after the conviction, I think, is when that's
Yeah, but I think they're probably going to be able to knock down the prostitution
I'm
using
hoping
the
19 years.
It's because it's the Mann Act. The Mann Act is very old.
Okay, can y'all hear me now?
And yeah,
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, the judge said he's getting 20 years.
Yeah.
That's what he's getting. He's getting 20 years. That's what the judge. That's
Oh,
why the
yeah,
judge
yeah.
won't let him out of jail. He
He's
said
not
it's
getting
5 years per case, and they do run together, so he will get 20 years. That's what they're saying. He was getting 20 years.
They run concurrently.
They're not letting him out. He pissed somebody off somewhere, and they don't want him out of jail.
They
Yeah, I
run
always thought he
concurrently.
was going to get 5 years. I always thought he was going to get 5 years unless he got RICO, and then RICO was going to put him away 20 to life. I thought that was the only real case they had.
I
But the
said
RICO,
that
they
he would
didn't
never
get.
get RICO. There was no way he was going to get 12 people to decide that. No way. No way.
And well, no, RICO's going to be retried. It's not. That's not over with. So RICO's going to get another try. It's a mistrial, so it's going to get
Not what
retried.
they said. No, it wasn't a mistrial. It was not a mistrial.
No, I was reading it just a little while ago. It's in the article. It's in the article in the thing that one of the something that says a problem with one of the jurors. So it sounds like they're going to get a retrial on
They
that.
just want to be right.
They don't want him out of jail. They don't want him out of jail. Is what it is.
Wait.
I don't care what he gets, as long as he goes to jail. I don't care what he gets. 1 year, 5 years, 2 years. It don't matter. He's fucked anyway it goes. He gets in real prison. He's screwed.
All I know is that I can't eat Tootsie Rolls anymore. That's all I know, man. I'm done. Done. No Tootsie Rolls.
Oh, wait. So there's a new commercial I seen today. Well, it's probably a whatever, but so they got him holding the Tootsie Rolls next to the ruler. And they got the three, you know how they got three sizes of Tootsie Roll. and so which Tootsie Roll is he? You know they got the big old long Tootsie Rolls, man. So I was like, which
Hey, we got to go to break.
but still, hold on. We just got here. I'll give it a couple minutes, but even the big Tootsie Roll is still what, like 4 inches?
I got the song.
The big round. Got that long? No, but I got 3 articles on what the judge was saying about him today. Yeah, and the fact that they're not letting him out of jail is not a good sign for him.
Jay, that it's this long?
That's like the universal female woman sign for he's got a tiny dick.
Jay was at one of the white parties, man. Don't even fuck what you do. He was at one of the white parties. He was at one of the white parties. Well, he couldn't be at the black party. He wouldn't fit in, but you know.
Oh, no,
how that
Spark.
goes. Yeah, hold on, song for a few minutes.
Sparky, Joe knows he has his sunglasses on.
Caroline, yeah, they're
Sparky
always on my
says
head.
he thinks your sunglasses.
It's more than
Yeah,
a
they're
song.
always up there. Don't worry about the song. So
It's more than a song. It's also a Trump video about him and his achievements and some stuff. So it's a song.
Oh my god.
But it's a Trump.
Well, hang on. We're gonna go in about 3 minutes now. It's I'm retiming something since I just got here, but No, Jenny, we'll bring up the before we get into the other news, because there's a lot of shit to go over. Before we get in the other news, we'll bring up the 3 articles on Diddy from the 2 federal judges and the 1 sitting judge, and then the I didn't know they could do this, so the state can retry him on every case. What the fuck is that? How does that work? That's where that's what they did Trump.
If they have trouble with 1 juror on the 3 convictions they didn't get, then they probably have a
look. I'm with Mike on this. If they didn't get the RICO first time, they're not getting the RICO second time.
RICO is federal.
RICO is federal, and if they didn't get it first time, I don't think.
But the state, if he broke state laws, the state could try.
Well, no, he wasn't found innocent. That's not what went on with the RICO. He wasn't found innocent. That ain't what that went down with.
He was found not guilty.
Yeah, but he wasn't found innocent. So you have to be found innocent. It's he's
not guilty. He want to be found not guilty.
But so look at it this way. So what was there? 152 of these prostitutes that we know of. There's supposed to be over 1,000 of them. If he gets time for every one, that's it. He's fucked. He'll never be out of jail. He'll be gone. There'll be no way for him to get out of jail. He'll just be sitting there because they can't run him sideways because it won't work. It won't give him true justice.
They've got they're looking at revisiting the Mann Act because it's such an old law against the new internet. Because there was no internet, he would have gotten his prostitutes locally and not bring them over the border. But they was on their own pleasure. They didn't go over the border. They weren't kidnapped or smuggled. They freely moved over from one state to another. So I think there's a lot of legal room there, and I think that his defense team will tackle that.
Yeah, but it's like this. It's like this. So most Americans don't know this. If you carry cigarettes or alcohol across state lines, you're bootlegging. Okay, and if they want to put you in jail, they can put you in jail for that. It's actually illegal. It's a federal law. If it's got a state stamp on it, it says Michigan, and you bring it into another state, you're bootlegging.
Each state is like its own country.
That's why each
state has its own country.
So in his case, what he did is he basically bootlegged a bunch of prostitutes. So he's in shit for that. Personally, I think that he should get like 10 years and get out on some kind of half fucked up. I'm going to go to therapy for the next 10 years. And something like that, but this judge has got a hard decision to make. It's up to this judge. It really doesn't matter what any of us say or anybody else says. The judge has to make his decision. So if the judge goes by the law, he's going to get 5 years, and then he's going to get therapy of some kind. That's if he goes by the law. If he goes by what he wants to do, he's going to get 35 years in some kind of therapy.
Get him off that baby oil, man.
Yeah, what?
It's really up to the judge. It's really up to the judge what he wants to do, and he's got a couple of ways he can go.
You showed up at his house. He hands you a bottle of baby oil, points you to a bunch of women that are scantily clad. He gives you drugs. That is a good host. That is not. Yeah. That's not. So you got food.
It's not necessarily a good host. It's a generous host. I'll say generous host.
That is a good host right there. How many people do you know that have that kind of hospitality, man?
It doesn't make him a good host. It makes him a generous host. If you take the girl upstairs and she's terrible,
if he went to the hospitality business and he had his own cruise line and had that same stuff going on, it would be very busy, very packed.
Definitely, he ain't getting no time for the girl.
Puff Daddy Cruises, man. Boom.
He ain't getting no time for beating them girls up. I mean, they could give him time for beating
baby oil cruise.
I don't think he's gonna get time for beating them girls up.
I also said that if he was any kind of smart at all, he would have never ever allowed any kind of camera whatsoever during his freedoms. The idiot.
Well, no, he wanted to watch it again, man. I mean, come on. That's the
I know. He's an idiot. You don't film that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
At the same time, there's a lot of civil suits against him. And then it's just gonna, I mean that.
Yeah. So he's pretty much screwed anyway he goes right now. If he can squeak his ass out of this on some kind of, anyway he goes, he might get house arrest, and he's gonna be in therapy no matter what. He won't be able to do it, so he'll be back in jail. It's not something he'll be able to do. It's just not in his nature. And he's gonna go to the same jail that your boy, the football player, went to. So even if he gets 2 years, he's going to a seriously shitty jail. He's not going to do well in there. People, not everybody likes him. He'll have his fans and he'll have his haters. So for him,
almost
anytime
he's
in
not
jail,
going to get any jail time. He's already been, but by the time he's
of
sentenced, it'll be
course,
a
he
year.
goes to a Fed jail. It don't matter. No, Fed jail's like the penthouse, man. If he goes to Fed jail, he's got to do 2/3, whatever that it happens to be. It's whatever it happens to be. I mean, whatever he ends up getting, he'll have to do 2/3. And it's really up to take us a break. It's really up to the stupid judge we got.
Break time. You do this. All right, Donald J. Trump. When we come back, we'll talk about all of his achievements. They said that he has more achievements than any other president. And this wasn't his own people blowing to the old horn. So we'll see. We'll see.
Greenbound.
I think that's good enough. We don't want to seem like we're over the top here on the show, man.
Norman
Not bad.
Greenbaum.
I
Here to the
enjoyed it.
Sky, a very good song.
Good song. You know what? He's got a lot of accomplishments. And the left. It's interesting how when they did a poll just recently, and half of all Democrats do not identify as patriotic, where 91% of Republicans do. So that's got to see where a lot of the problem lies. I mean, how could you not be for the country that you're in, to go forward and evolve?
Yeah, well, that's where Elmo, whatever her fucking name is, she needs to go to where the dodo birds. No, Amy, he wasn't found guilty of sex trafficking. That's 15 to life. No, he didn't get that.
No,
He got 2 counts of prostitution, and he got 2 counts. He had to get the prostitution, so it's a little bit more than just bringing somebody over the lines because he had to pay the prostitutes. So what do you call it when you go out looking for a prostitute? That's actually legal too. Looking at this, I'm looking at the things right here. He can get anywhere from 5 to 15 years per one. That's actually what it's anywhere from there, but the minimum sentence is 5 years. It's on this one.
How many different girls is he being charged of being?
Just the two. He's also got 5 cases against him, totaling $500 million. So he's going to have to get through all of that, which will probably break it. It says, if found guilty of transportation prostitution, the maximum sentence he's going to get is 10 years. That's maximum. And we don't know if this judge is going to go maxi. Since he got off on the other 3, the judge might not go max. He might go 5 years.
Maintained all the time that he won't get more than 5, and then he has a lot of time served. He's going to get that too. So we'll see.
He'll get a year time served for sure, and he'll get a year time served. Anyway, it goes. Everybody agrees he ain't getting out of this without going to. Because of the girls, he's going to have to go through some kind of counseling. They already said that. It said similar cases like Diddy's, where they were found guilty of this, usually got 7 to 8 years.
Yeah,
a federal penalty. So that's the average. Who knows, Mike? He might be
freaking Jill. That's all I care about.
I'm doing great. How you doing? Happy 4th.
Happy 4th,
too,
man.
Happy 4th.
We grew up together at Rockville Center, but Frank is the CEO of
Porch Entertainment.
And Joe, I was thinking last week that Frank could meet Giovanni because Giovanni's making a movie about Valentino, and I think Frank, you should be that movie, mate.
Frank, I have to ask you a question. I got to ask you a question. Was Michael an angel back then?
I have strict instructions from Michael not to talk about anything on high school because there was no social media, so there's no evidence.
Whatever happened to 7-Eleven stayed at 7-Eleven.
or the Pantry Diner or the Golden Reef Diner.
Yep. Sutton Place. Yeah, that was. We had a good town, man. Rockville Center was awesome, and it was good.
The bridge.
Yeah. So we all had our own groups, but we all converged on our drinking spots. Yeah, man. So I'm glad you made it, man. And we're just talking about Puff Daddy right this second, kind of.
Okay.
So according to this, he's worth $400 million. If that's the truth, 2026 he'll be bankrupt.
So Frank has Bill Montaldo.
Yeah. His lawyer. This round right here, I think, is going to cost him close to $100 million.
You got Jay over
for
there.
The lawyers just got right now.
So we're all here.
Poor baby's not going to have no money to spend.
It's
better to be free than be broke. It's better to be free than broke.
Rather be rich and in jail or broke and free.
Yeah, I'm going with the broken free, make more money. That's what I'm thinking. I'm going with the broken free. I mean, if that's what it ends up being.
Yeah, I mean, he'll probably do 4 to 5 years, but it's better than life with that sex trafficking shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd got sex trafficking. Now, I didn't know this. I was reading just a few minutes ago. They held back 2 of the sex trafficking charges for a new case. So even if he gets out, they're going to charge him again. They're just he pissed this guy off. He pissed somebody off. That's just all there is to it. It's like Epstein. Epstein would have never went to jail, but he pissed somebody off. And,
Yeah,
and then, of course, they wanted to make sure he didn't talk. So they hired Michael to do that, by the way, man.
Yeah. Now,
Michael was a
this-
hitman on Epstein.
hey Joe, this judge that Diddy had, was he a Trump lawyer, judge, or was he an Obama judge?
I
It's
don't
a
know.
New
Read
York
about it. I
judge.
got
So he's a yeah. There's no Trump judges in New York. He's never appointed a judge in New York. These are all liberal.
Oh, if he's an Obama judge, Diddy gonna walk no matter what. He could have got sex trafficking and walked. Oh man, them judges in New York are
He's
bad.
tossed around from cell to cell, I think.
He's,
Well, grab his way out of it, and that'll bankrupt him.
So I'll tell you an interesting story. So I got another like docuseries I'm doing with this former New York gangster who's a hitman, killed a bunch of people, ended up flipping, went into WITSEC, witness protection. He's here in Scottsdale under an assumed name, and we were talking about Diddy, and because he was on suicide watch, because when this guy was in prison, and just to kind of break, they would basically, you get paid, you get all different jobs, and one of the jobs, when you got these people on suicide watch, they put you in like a glass box 24/7. So you shit, shower in front of everyone, and you got nothing in there that can hurt you. But they got these other convicts watching you, make sure you're not harming yourself, and they would call the guards. And apparently that's what Diddy, because Diddy was on suicide watch, and he had these other convicts watching him 24/7 in this clear box to make sure he didn't hurt himself, especially what happened with Epstein.
Yeah. That shit with Epstein, there's no way they're going to sell it. I mean, if Trump would have been president, then we might have actually got some push out of that. There's no way he killed this guy. Cameras on him, you're watching him. It just.
But then the cameras break, right?
Yeah, and it's the way he hung himself on that. That no, man, I'm just not buying that shit. Just some other bullshit went on. Somebody killed him. Probably Hillary had him bumped off that bitch. She
killed a lot of people.
And that's why they call her Hillary. But you notice, what was it? So she was going probably going to go to jail over Whitewater or whatever it's called, Watergate, not Watergate, Whitegate, whatever the hell it was called. When Pretty Boy blew up the federal building and blew up everything in it. Y'all don't remember that, guys? When he blew up the federal building, parked in front of him, blew the whole fucking front of the building off. Well, the papers for her
Timmy McVeigh.
Yeah, well, the papers for her case were in that federal building.
Coincidence? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Coincidence or not, it was because she was going to trial and it looked like she was going to jail. I mean, she had broke some serious laws and then poof, it didn't even go to trial. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I got to give her credit. I mean, she's got balls the size of an elephant, man. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, she's been fucking Bill for years.
She does, and she has no problem killing your ass, man. She's like, oh yeah, you want to die? Come here, we'll fucking kill your ass. We got no problem killing you. Oh no! Well, you look at what's his name. What was his name? Seth. See, I remember the guy. I can't remember his first name. So anyway, he was working for Bernie Sanders, and it was Seth something or another. And he was working for Bernie Sanders, and he had a meeting with Hillary Clinton. She called him, asked him. She was trying to get him to come in her campaign, and he said no, and he went home. Well, they said he stopped off at a bar and then he went home. Well, he was found dead on a sidewalk with everything intact, his jewelry, his wallet, everything, his keys. Nobody took anything, and there was no blood found, which of course means he was killed at a different location. It was a professional hit.
Yeah.
She didn't want him going back to work for Bernie because Bernie was kicking her ass at that time. And it was all because of him. Seth Rich, is that what his name was?
Yes,
I know it's Seth.
Vince Foster too. Was that Vince Foster shot himself like 6 times in the back?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh, and remember the one who put the pillow over his head and suffocated himself? Look, people, Hillary got the best luck of anybody I've ever seen.
I like the guy who was working out and his barbell crushed his throat. With not even a lightweight. It was like lightweights on there. Yeah, man, Hillary probably the best.
You got to give the woman credit, man. Why do you think Bill is so like, yeah, baby, I still love you. You go do whatever you want to do. I got your ass. I got you. Bill don't want to piss her off. Shit, the Secret Service is scared of her, man. Come on. The woman is just. But now we've got her best friend, Huma Abedin, is sleeping with who? George Soros' son.
Oh yeah, Aberdeen and the other communists, whatever his name is.
Yeah. So they're now a thing. They're a power couple, as they call them. I was like, really? I mean, that they should be both shot. I mean, come on, they're both fucking communists, is what they are. And who was the one who
talk about nepotism? You look in between Gavin Newsom, who's Nancy Pelosi's nephew, who was banging some other friggin' Democrat who was someone else's niece or whatever. The whole Democratic machine. You think Arkansas or Alabama with all the inbreeding, the Democratic Party has been inbreeding for years.
Oh, they have been. Kirby, no, we all of us kind of agree. We think he's going to get anywhere from 3 to 10. And Mike thinks he's going to get time served. So anywhere it goes, he's somewhere. We'll see, but he's going to be somewhere in that vicinity. Unless the judge just comes out and says, "I'm giving you fucking 10 years for each one, you dick." Because they can give him.
They could do consecutive, right? 10 and 10, and he does 20, right? That's a possibility. It's up to the judge now, right? He can. It's his decision.
Well, these charges will be concurrent, so everything will be run at the same time.
They should be concurrent, but the judge can change that if he wants. So we've learned one thing about New York judges: they do whatever the fuck they want to do. Trump taught us that.
It's a federal.
I mean,
court.
Come on, they took 34. They took 34 charges that had expired and brought them into federal court and found Trump guilty. So we know if they want to do it, they're going to do it. It's really their judges. They're so corrupt.
He's dancing right now at the White House on the fireworks, man, because he's got a lot of achievements. He's been in there since January, the end of January, and look at all the amazing things that he's accomplished. I mean, even striking Iran. Oh my God.
Oh man, Sean. Other Sean said he's going to come set y'all asses right on Iran. I
want Frank to talk on this because. He
said you bitches don't know what y'all talking about when it comes to
I was watching one of Trump's speeches. He moves to the side. I see Frank standing there, and Trump turns around and says, "Great tie." I love that.
Yeah, I seen Trump down in what is that? The alligator Alcatraz.
Alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah, they're all bitching at him about it. And they're like, "There's nothing illegal about this." He said, "There's even got fucking air conditioning in it. What are y'all bitching about?" I was like.
And if you don't escape, you don't get eaten by alligators, right? So if you stay put, you're good.
Well, I like what the other lady said from NBC. She said, "Shit, if I was them alligators, I'd be worried I might be dinner." I was kind of like, some of them guys are pretty rough.
It's funny.
Mike, when did they say the final? Did he give any indication when he's going to blow out the sentencing for this guy?
October 7th.
October. So he's staying in jail till October without even fuck. That's a dickhead judge. He might be looking to do it. So I think the judge is researching how he can fuck him. Justin, we don't know. See, what it comes down to for poor Diddy is, did he really piss somebody off? If he did, he's going to do 20 years.
He did.
If he didn't, he's going to be out.
This guy raised millions for Democrats. So whatever. I mean, but they're not faithful.
Yeah, but he's also got lots of dirt.
This ain't the same Democrat Party anymore. This is AOC. AOC said he should do 10 years, what AOC said. And Jasmine Crockett said he should do longer than that. So
thanks.
They're not
Omar said he should be assassinated. I mean, not assassinated.
Those two girls are too young to be on the videotape that Diddy was. He was banging LeBron. He was banging Chucky Schumer. They were doing all sorts of nasty stuff with Diddy and those white parties.
Yeah.
It's
so AOC was never invited to the white party. That's why she's pissed.
You see that skinny bastard up on top of y'all in the middle? He's been to a couple of them white parties. I don't know how his ass ain't up in jail, man. Yeah, I don't know. He's like, yeah, I'm cool, man.
And he just had a kid too.
He said, I just walked right through that shit like it ain't nothing.
Jay has a kid too.
Yeah, you got a
Brought it
fucking
up, the
alien
white
kid.
party.
That's the
There
scary
it
part,
is.
man.
There it
Yeah,
is.
it came from the white party. Now we know where that damn child came from. Probably one of Diddy's babies.
The bottom line is that the prosecution failed. The burden of proof was on them. They failed to get that across.
Oh, the prosecution failed miserably. They
When I
failed miserably.
heard that testimony about putting applesauce on cheeseburgers, I'm like, you're at a trial. We're trying to put a guy away for life, and that's what they're focusing on was this claptrap. So
Now I didn't know this, so I didn't know. So they did the sex trafficking, but they didn't do the children thing. So now they want to go back and do that. And I'm like, you lost the sex trafficking. You fucked it. Don't leave it alone. But they didn't bring up. They said there's at least a half a dozen other charges they can bring on. So that's why the guy wants to hold him in jail. I think the judge is going to wait to see if the prosecution wants to bring more charges on him. Look, you lost this case. You prosecuted it. You lost. Get over it, because eventually America's going to get pissed off about it. Whether we like him or not, guilty or not, you can't just keep fucking people over in jail. The country's going to get mad about it. They're going to be like, okay, look, yeah, he's a no good bastard, but you had your chance. You didn't get him put away. How they didn't get him on racketeering is beyond me, but I don't know why they didn't go after him for drugs, because the drugs were found in his house. So I was always kind of wondering about that.
There's a difference between possession and distribution, right? Possession is a misdemeanor. It's the distribution that would have been the felony, and I don't know if they were able to have enough to get them on distribution.
In the big house, they found 2.5 pounds of cocaine. In the other house, they found 1.5 pounds. As you or I, we'd be doing 20 years. Yeah. So I don't know why, but the other guy confessed that he brought the drugs there. So I guess that's why they didn't go after him. This
was Epstein's cellmate. This was a cop who had committed a homicide. He killed poor people, and he was in Epstein's cell until about 11 o'clock at night. They took him out. The cameras went off or whatever, and they found Epstein supposedly dead. The medical examiner said the bones in his neck were crushed, like someone used their hands to crush. Do you think this guy could crush someone's bones?
Hell yeah! Hell yeah, he can.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be
So remember when we talked about this? I said, you know what? They probably paid this guy to bump him off, and then because he went to prison for the homicides, right? You know what? Just the other day, maybe 2 weeks ago, they've announced they're revisiting the case on him. So because they had already put him away. So whatever deal he made, pretty interesting stuff though when you think about Epstein, and then the information he had. When Epstein died, they sealed his case, didn't they? That was it. That was it. So think of the concept. They want you to be gone, you'll be gone.
Oh no!
Is it worthwhile?
Sean, call Linda again. Joe is duplicated.
Oh no, Joe's replicated.
Joe did that actually. Joe actually did that on purpose, man. I did it on purpose. Calm down.
So Frank, you're also an author, man. I wanted to talk about your book. I actually have it over there on screen. A book about your daughter who was in rehab, and it was such. You tell everybody the story, man, because it's such a touching story, and a lot to do with strength, your strength, family strength, and your daughter's strength.
Yeah. So the book is called Love Letters to Amber, and that's my daughter's name. And unfortunately, when she was 14, she got involved in drugs and almost died of a drug overdose. And as an Italian guy, you think you could control the situation, and she would sneak out of the house and sneak out the window, and I would hammer the window shut so she couldn't get out. And then I put an alarm system in, and she did like a MacGyver and figured out how to trick the alarm so it wouldn't go off. And it was just all these series of events. And so while she was in rehab, I wrote her a love letter every day that she's beautiful. God's not done with you yet. You can do this. For 6 months, I wrote her a love letter every single day. And she wrote back, and so it was. I wrote this book on the trials that we went through, because each of us went through a different circumstance. Like, as a parent, watching your child go through this is one thing, but she's the child; she's going through this as well. So she had a different perspective of what was happening, and so. it was, it was just a series of events. I'm a single dad. I was divorced. My dad was living with me. He was sick, and I had an older daughter, and she's she's trying to deal with this as well, and she's going through high school and all these things, and I'm a single parent trying to navigate this stuff, and it was to trials and tribulations, and so she gets through, and she gets out of the rehab, and she's clean. She's a beautiful girl now. She's got 2 daughters. She's my hair and makeup artist. I do film and TV shows around the country and around the world, and she travels with me. And so a year after she got out of rehab, one of the girls that she went to rehab with was in Seattle, and she wanted to come for a visit. And I went and I called the Rehab Center Teen Challenge, and they said, well, it's a year, it should be okay. So I invite her out. She flies out. And instinct, something wasn't right, right? So I'm like, something's not right. And so I start going through the girl's suitcase and all the shit. She had a pack of cigarettes, and I opened a pack of cigarettes, and there's a chunk of fucking heroin. Oh. I'm like, motherfucker. And they were outside in the pool. I bring them in. I'm pissed. Pack your shit. How much money you got? She had cash. Took her cash, bought her a plane ticket, called her parents, put her on a plane, and sent her back to Washington. And my daughter's yelling at me, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, the girl passed away 6 months later from a drug overdose. Yeah. And so my daughter's, it's your fault, and she's trying to blame me, and and I'm trying to tell her, I'm like, I can only care about one child at a time, and it's you, and so you're my concern. And we ended up, talking through it and walking through, and we're good, but there was a moment, she blamed me for her friend's death, and which was tough to take. But as long as my daughter was healthy, that's all I cared about. I don't, not that I wanted to be selfish, but yeah, I would give away everything I got and to make sure my daughter's here. She's still here, and so that's really the essence of the book, is the struggle that. And there's different perspectives. So my dad was living at the house. We had my older daughter was there. My younger daughter was going through addiction. Me as a single dad. And so you had all these different perspectives. And then we used a lot of the voiceover. Did you ever see someone do something really stupid, like, what the hell were you thinking? Yeah. And so we're trying to use, and so my daughter I wrote a script. I'm trying to make a movie out of it. And then we converted it into a book. And so my screenwriter talked to my daughters. And so a lot of it was what my daughter was going through, her trying to explain her shitty decisions, right? On why she was doing this or why she was doing that. So we didn't do it throughout the entire story, but we used very strategic moments in there to capture the audience on what it is when you watch someone making a terrible decision, and like that, you should never make that decision, and then trying to explain their terrible decision that they're making in real time. And so, but at the end of the day, my daughter's still here, and she's got 2 daughters, and we got a great relationship, and she made it through the other side. And unfortunately, most people who go through addiction, they relapse over and over again, and the end result is, unfortunately, they don't make it. There's more deaths in drugs than what I'm going through, which is I have my daughter here. I am one of the few parents that still have their kids, because when you go through addiction, unfortunately, the end result is that the kid doesn't make it. And my daughter's going to be 30 this year. And she's still here, and she's sober, and she's doing great. And so
John Gotti's Hitman, Johnny Elite he comes on the show every once in a while. He started after he went to jail a few times. He spent 5 years in a Turkish prison, I think 4 years in a Brazilian prison. He was pretty messed up. He came when he finally got back to the States and all. He actually started a youth league. For some reason, he just flipped and decided he was going to start helping people. And one of the first things he was doing was helping people get off of drugs. I was really surprised. So another one of our hosts brought on 3 or 4 old ex-mafia guys who were doing the same thing. All of them out of New York, though. I was just surprised to see it. It was nice to see. anybody can help anybody with drugs is nice to see. I mean, I've known a lot of people gotten fucked up over drugs over the years, and it's just nice to see people that can actually help them. And I guess being ex-mafia, they could say from the heart end, look, this is what's going to happen to you if you keep going this road.
So we had a lot in our town. We had the Hill, Henry Hill's sons that we went to school with, John Hill, Chris Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And my dad was really good friends with Henry, and so a lot of shit that was being sold would be in our living room, and shit would fall off the truck and
off the back of the truck. We were just talking about that recently.
Yeah, never been used and only dropped once. Wink,
filet mignon, lobster.
I had 10,000 pairs of Puma in my living room when I was like 13, 14 years old. And we were selling them for $10 a piece all throughout Long Island.
Because it was funny that Chris and John disappeared that one year. Like, they went back to school after summer, they were gone.
Yeah, so Charlie Kerrigan, was our dean of students, this big, massive guy, 6'6", 300 pounds, super friggin' intimidating. And so later in life, so when Michael was talking about, I was on TV with President Trump, and they're like, holy shit, there's Frank Torchia. And people that I hadn't seen in 30 years or whatever from school, and I'm literally, my phone's blowing up. I got about 10,000 messages. And Charlie Kerrigan was one of them. It's like, oh, is that Frank Torchia from Rockville Center and Southside? And so we ended up connecting as adults, and his son lives out here in Mesa, Arizona. And so he came out, and we're smoking cigars and drinking some whiskey, and he's telling me the John Hill story and how the FBI, when we were in so I was in 8th grade and it was 9th grade. So I was 85. So the John Hill was a little older than me. And so the FBI comes in, and there's no computers at the time. They're going through everything, and they're wiping them clean, taking all the cars. They even went into the nurse's room to get all the shit from the nurse. And they disappeared him. They just disappeared, which was not only Henry's kids, but his sister's kids.
Mrs. Storch, man.
Mrs. Storch, holy shit.
She's the hottest nurse you've ever seen in your
entire life. Oh my gosh, I had such a crush on her.
She always had those high heels. You clip-clop down the hall. Everybody's looking at the doorway, waiting for her to walk back.
Can I get my hernia test again? I'll turn my head and cough twice.
I worked for her for 2 years, man. I was her with Jay Chiari. Remember Jay Chiari?
Jay Chiari lived around the corner from me. I still. He's dating Linda. What's her name?
Linda. I should know her too.
Pinchent or something like that.
Yeah. That's cool, man. The good old days. So how do they get your book, man? If people want to read your book, because it's a great read.
So we're going to it. So we had it on Amazon and our own website, but so interesting when you're talking about it. We have a publisher in New York that wants to take it out.
Joe, I think you're feeding back.
Say that again.
I think Joe is feeding back.
Somebody is.
Hey, let me see. Hold on. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So,
all right, Frank, go ahead. I don't want the feedback while you're talking.
That's okay. So we have a publisher in New York that wants to just take it out and bring it national, to go to like Barnes and Noble and everything. So we took it off of Amazon for right now. So by the end of the year, we should be in every bookstore in America, which will be kind of cool.
No, wait. Okay. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. First off, he's on the wrong show, man. You should be on the other show. Your friend here, he should be on Saturday's show on the Arthur's Quill. That's where people are going to buy your book from, man. So we host a show on Saturdays called the Arthur's Quill. It does about 3.3 million listeners. And a friend of mine who owns Galaxy Press, he's president of Galaxy Press. Him and I host it. And that's the show you need to be on if you want. You see all them books behind me? Well, let me get out the way. It's all stuff we give away. It's all stuff they do. And this all, you can't see them in here. There's about 300 books in here we give away every year. That's the show you need to be on if you want to sell books. This is a great show, but it's not really a book selling show. It's more of like a asshole show, I guess is the best way to say it.
The
Well,
news.
I've been
I mean,
called worse.
No, well, I just mean that usually we're talking about stuff that's not really conducive to book sales. It's like, we were talking about Diddy in the beginning. We'll be talking about other stuff later on. But if Mike, give me his contact information, I'll get you on the Author's Quill, and you can come talk with us, spend an hour or two chit chatting with an hour or two, whichever one you like. And
Yeah. I mean, I do a lot of different things. I wrote a book. I do films and TV shows. I'm a political junkie. I'm a dad. I got my dogs. I love baseball. I love my New York Yankees, even though they suck right now.
Well, Mike's how you know Mike? He's a liberal, man.
Liberal.
He's been telling me how he likes AOC. He wants to marry Jasmine Crockett and shit. I'm like,
I used to watch her dance at the strip club, AOC. Goldfinger.
He said Omar turns him on and shit. I don't know what to think about that.
She'd be up with Goldfingers on stage.
Just like, what the fuck was that?
And she grabbed that thing so fast.
Are you saying Mike has his own turban in his closet that he breaks out with Omar?
I'm telling you, he's been a little weird lately, man. We gotta watch him.
Sometimes you gotta whip out the turban, man. Sometimes you gotta mix in. You know what I mean?
I'm still trying to figure out how a woman that is in Congress that said she fucking hates America, we're the worst country that ever existed, and she married her fucking brother. If that was any of us, we'd either be in jail or kicked out of Congress. We would not be in Congress. That's for
Democrats, especially liberalism is a mental illness. It really is.
Oh my god!
And it's these people. They hate themselves so much. It's self-loathing. They want everyone to suffer. They think everyone should suffer. But that's not the case, because if you work for it, remember Obama, you didn't work for that, whatever. If you work for it and you achieve those goals, you can hold your head high. These guys don't want to work for anything. And like that poll I was talking about earlier, that 50% of Democrats do not identify as patriots, that's part of the biggest problem. But Trump is bringing us back to common sense. Common sense, no open border, common sense, this whole trans thing. They just stripped the trans stuff from the swimmer, Look, we lost Frank.
Yeah.
They just did you see that? They just stripped it from the swimmer. All of the honors that the swimmer got, though. Whatever. I got the news story.
I'm gonna send Sean this really hot woman, and she's gonna turn out to be trans. I'm gonna send you a hot woman, man. And you're gonna be like, "Ooh, look at this hot woman," and you're gonna be, wait, Joe sent you. Are you a trans?
He's back.
I'm sorry. I need more drugs.
There you are. Lost for a second.
I need it, but no, really. So we'll get you on the other show, because at least you might get some book sales out of that one. It's
see you, Kason.
It's really that. It's really what it's designed for.
We're actually turning it into a movie. We got Kevin Sorbo. We got John Boyd. We got Peter Weller directing. We're going to turn it into a movie by the end of the year, early next year.
Because I did an interview with Sorbo in Seattle, and like they got us both killed because we were talking, because he's conservative, he's not a liberal.
Correct.
And we got to talking hardcore conservatives, because I'm a centralist. And man, these fucking people in the audience looked like they were about to come up the stage. I was like, dude, did we just get ourselves in trouble here? And really and truly, we were talking about what he's done. And then we started talking about what was that sci-fi Andromeda. We started talking about that series he did for Gene Roddenberry. Okay. And and then we got to talking about it, and then all of a sudden it just shifted to politics, which sometimes shit happens. And we got to talking about, I think it was Obama at the time. Oh my God, I'm telling you, dude, it looked like they were about to string us up. It was looking bad. I was like, man, y'all people need to calm your asses down. And then
he was the first guy to get canceled. He got canceled like 14 years ago when he came out as a conservative.
It did. It took him hard. I mean, it was some of these other stars have managed lately to get away, but since Trump's in office, it's okay. But I know what's the guy who plays not Hercules, Thor. They tried to cancel him, but
Hemsworth.
He's just too popular for him to cancel.
Well, I mean, there's a handful. You got Stallone, you got Mark Wahlberg, you got Mel Gibson, Bruce Willis before he got his brain shit going on. So there's a handful of folks out there that are the superstars. Kid Rock in music, you can't fucking cancel him. Joe.
Kid Rock don't care if you cancel him. He can be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, he'll fucking take his gun out and shoot a Bud Light beer can again.
He don't give a shit. Ted Nugent don't care.
But the left went so far fucking left that they bypassed everyone. They left. Elon was a Democrat. Rogan was all these folks were Democrat, but they went so far Looney Tunes with the trans shit and boys can be girls. I watched fucking Mr. Rogers. I remember that song. Little boys become women and boys become men and boys can't be girls and girls. What the fuck happened in the last 5 years that fucking they're saying boys can be girls, girls can be boys, when men should fucking shower with little girls. These people, they literally lost their ever fucking mind, and it's insane that they went that far. And here's what I think really happened in education is during COVID, or the China virus, as I call it.
Yes, that's what it
all
is.
These kids were being taught by Zoom, right? And all of a sudden, the parents would be listening on what these fucking lunatic teachers are trying to teach their kids, talking about their gay lovers and this and their that, everything but reading, writing, and arithmetic. And parents were like, time the fuck out. What the hell are you teaching my kids? And I think that was the beginning of the end and I think that's why Glenn Youngkin in Virginia ended up winning the Virginia governorship, because parents needed to take control of their education, of their kids' education. And so the left went so far left, and it's just, there's no centrist Democrats anymore. You're either
the ones that are leaving,
trans, or if not, you're a Republican and you're a racist and you're a white supremacist. They're just insane.
When they started saying it was okay to do transgender operations on your children without you knowing about it, that was pretty much the end. I don't know anybody that was happy with that except for crazy left-leaning liberals. But you know what?
Those are the only people, the lunatics, that thought it was okay to cut little boys' penises off and cut little girls' breasts off. It's just. And it's only in America. Nowhere else in the world is. And by the way,
it always cracks me. They won't even let you own a gun till you're 18, but you're okay to cut your thing off at 3. No, I mean, come on. Who thought this idea was?
In America, these transgender kids went up by 10,000% in the last 7 years. Yep. And only in America.
Because they need
to vote. Only in America. The rest of the world doesn't do any of this shit. Only in America that we castrate little boys.
A lot of them are speaking up now, saying that they were deceived.
Oh they went to Congress.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them suing. There's a lot of them going back after him. But we knew sooner that was going to happen sooner or later. It was just a matter of time, because come on, what do you know at 3? What do you know at 5? What do you know at 8? I mean, really, come on. I used to bake cakes in my sister's easy bake oven and steal her Barbie car and run it down the highway and shit. Do I look like I wanted to get something lopped off? No,
is that something that you're talking to your therapist about right now?
Yes, actually, I used to blow up her babies too, so I better shut up about that. But I'd stick firecrackers up there,
and blow up her Barbie dream house.
It's okay. We did. I remember Mom said, "You know how much that Barbie dream house cost me?" I'm like, "But Mom." She's like, "But no, it's for her." I'm like, "But Mom, it's fun. I can get into all kind of shit." My sister used to get so furious at me. But that easy bake oven was cool, man. I'm just telling you. I used to bake some shit in that oven. Yo, man, I'd be munching off that damn thing all the time. My sister,
you used to get baked, or you used to bake?
Both. Let's be honest about it. I'm gonna be honest about it. I get baked and then bake. My mom's like, "Boy, you eat that stuff up." I said, "It's good, man." I said, I had a lot of fun with that.
And here's the thing: the food in the easy bake oven was actually better than the food we're friggin' serving our kids today.
No, yeah, I know. It's well, you see, when I was going to school, I went to public and private. Well, I went to Catholic public and private, and I noticed, like, when I was first going to Catholic, they would give you these little hamburgers in an aluminum sack. It was soybean burgers, is what they were. They were just cockeye nasty.
Yeah,
And then I got back in public school, and they were just serving you this whatever slop for lunch. Then I got in private school. I'm like, these some bitches eat good. They had everything, pizzas and hamburgers, and you could order shit behind the thing and have it cooked. Man, I was like, what the hell, man? I've been missing out. And then I went back to public school, and then they had improved quite a bit. Then I went back to Catholic school. They had improved quite a bit again. And then when I got back to private school, they had fucked it up. I'm like, what the hell? They got all kind of crazy. They had all these vegetables they wanted you to eat all the time, all this fruit. I'm like, no, I want my pizza, man.
We were lucky in our town, Rockville. You know, we had amazing places to eat. The Golden Reef Diner. Give me a regular coffee, and you know what? You get a burger, a cheeseburger. It's real, man. It's real. It's good, man. It's like, you know, the food.
Who's got a song?
The best pizza.
Oh yeah, Bocelli Brothers or Sal's and
Big Al. Remember Big Al Pizza, Aroma Pizza?
Oh, and then what about Lenny's Pizzeria on Sunrise Highway?
Lenny's, but Big Al sold fireworks out the back.
Yeah,
that was
we've broken out into food porn again.
We go in there and get a mat of firecrackers, and a
food.
Sicilian pizza to go, man.
Yeah, food.
Yes.
Food.
So it was interesting talking about food. And so last year, when RFK Jr. was running for president as a Democrat, and then went independent, and then finally came over to the good side. But when he started talking about ingredients, I'm telling you, I would go to the grocery. I couldn't go to the grocery stores without looking at ingredients, and especially bread. I'm an Italian guy. I make homemade bread. I make homemade pizza.
Yeah.
I know there's only 4 ingredients in bread. But you look at that ingredient section on the bread, there's 30 fucking ingredients on there. I'm like, what the fuck are you putting in the bread?
Yeah, because 80% of that shit you're not supposed to be eating.
Yeah.
But only in America. All the fucking food companies that are in America poisoning our kids, Kellogg's and all these other, they don't sell that shit to like Europe and Canada. They're only
now but now Europe's got to buy it. Trump made them buy the shit now. Trump said, we got to eat it. You got to eat it.
Well, now RFK is forcing them to take out the red dye number 3, and they're taking out all the preservatives, and they're doing all this shit.
I had some country crock the other day. I wasn't paying attention. I had some country crock I had thrown in a frying pan. I wasn't paying attention to it. And I looked at it as it overheated. And this fucking shit looked like plastic. I'm not shitting you. It looked like fucking plastic.
Yeah.
I didn't want to eat it after that because it looked like fucking plastic. I was like, look at this shit. And
I spend like the $20 on the European butter.
Well,
yeah, me too.
I can get local butter right here.
Butter. I got the Amish people over here that make amazing butter.
So yeah.
Well, you get Amish butter down here for $7 a pound, but they make local butter in Mississippi, so you know
it's like 12
local beef, local everything.
Good stuff, man.
That's one of the nice things about living here. We're not on the nuclear map. We're 5th most unlikely state to be struck by nukes, and the state's self-sufficient. We have our own gas, our own water. We have our own nuclear power plants. We have our own cows, our own pigs, our own chickens, our own vegetables. So it's like, fuck y'all. We're safe. You rest you bitches can burn. It's but it's one of the nice things because we'll get like a half of filet. It's only $30, and you get 8 2-inch steaks out of it.
Yeah,
you can get a whole rack of ribeye for $140. You'll get 14 2-inch steaks out of it. I mean, it's like fucking a steal. And I love it. I buy them, put them in the freezer, and leave them in there until I want to eat them. And I done learned how to freeze a steak properly now. When I was young, I always fucked them up when I put them in the freezer. But now I've learned how to steak.
Arizona's got good.
Hey man, hey, it's just one of them things when
New Mexico.
But you get a lot. You get like chickens wholesale down here. Right now we're paying $3.99 for 18 pack of eggs. I mean, come on, man. We're paying $2.25 for gas, though. Cheesy bastard. That's kind of high for
cheap,
gas
man.
for us.
That's cheap.
Yeah, for y'all that's cheap. For us, that's expensive. We kind of like, where's $1.59 at? What the hell's going on here?
Wait till next year. It'll be down that low next year.
Now, when Trump's first term, gas got as cheap as 99 cents a gallon down here.
Wow.
That was like flashing back to the 70s, man.
Yeah, I remember driving when I was first got my car in the 80s. I had my first car was a 1973 Ford Grand Torino, and it was like 82 or 83 when I got it.
Was it
And
green?
You thought he was Starsky and Hutch, man.
Yeah, it was all it was all souped up, had the big tires and everything. And it was 78 cents a gallon, and everyone chip in like $2 or $3 or whatever. 70, just put in some, because I picked everyone up and we went to school, and so yeah, just pocket change, $5.13 of gas, and so I mean, Rockville Centre is a small town, remember, Michael? So just drive it, you 5 gallons worth of gas, and last you a week or two.
The first car I was really driving the most was my mom. She had a Lincoln Mark 5, had a 464 barrel under the hood. I love that fucking car.
Lincoln too.
She goes, can I have my car back? I said, well, Dad wants to give me. My dad had an old Falcon Fairlane, which was his baby, but it was, he had redone the whole car, put one of them under dash air conditioning. I said, Mom, I don't want that car. So my dad says, you can't have it. You can have. We had an AMC Matador with a 414 valve. He goes, you can have that one. I'm like, I'll take that one, reclining seats. I said, I'll take this one, Dad. I didn't want that other one. I didn't want to pick up no girls in old badass ugly car.
And my dad had that Mark Bill Blast, that big boat 464 engine. It was that kind of like deep blue with the tan top. I've seen pictures of them, but yeah, it was that friggin' boat, and it was just with the great.
I had one of them big, one of them big Impalas, man. That was a boat. Or something.
Well, that's when they made cars. If you hit something, you never really got a dent or anything. Now you hit something, and fucking the whole thing folds like an accordion.
Yeah, I pulled that motor out and I had an AMC, not an AMC. I had a GMC 1500 Grande pickup truck. So I pulled the motor out of the Impala and put it in the truck. Jesus Christ! You could, if you let off the gas, it was like woo! I had to put weight in it. I was going through tires like this. I had to weight it down. It was killing my tires. I was like, no, this got to stop. It was a beast though, man. We loaded it up one day we had 4 P-Rogs in it, 8 people, 2 dogs, and 6 ice chests, and it was still doing 144 on interstate.
The Gran Torino, I had like 9 people in. I was on Long Beach Road, Michael, when we were coming back from the beach. And we just got big. We went to the beer barn, and I had like 9 people. Girls sitting on everyone's lap, and I had like 4 little beer barrel, like these beer balls that they had back in the day.
Beer ball.
The beer ball.
and I had like 3 garbage pails, 3 garbage bags full of empty beer cans for deposits. And I get pulled over from a cop, and he pulls me over. Literally, it was like the Mexicans. All my friends left. They were like the fucking Mexicans. They thought they were going to be deported. I'm fucking here by myself, and the guy knew my dad, who was part of the neighborhood, and he goes, "Hey, just take it slower next time." And literally, the fucking 8 people. It was like the Mexicans trying to not get deported. They all fucking fly out of my car. They're running in the fields. It was the fucking hysterical. They left me there by myself like a fucking dog.
Oh my god, man!
That shit was insane. Oh wait, we got a couple of these little things we're gonna play right quick instead of having a song.
Yeah, hey guys, I think I'm gonna bail. I'm starting to fade out. It's been a long day, so
get some sleep, Jay. We got a long night tomorrow night, baby. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Frank, nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you as well. Talk to you soon.
All right, get some sleep.
Yes, put that alien baby up, man. That's that alien baby keeping him up all night long, man. Shit.
Alien baby keeps him up.
Keeps him up at night, man.
It sure does. All right, see you guys.
Take care. Good night.
I don't want any of them damn alien babies.
I didn't have to work today, so I was lucky, man.
It's okay. This is Joe Rogan here. Let's see what this one says. If I can find my way back to the damn window. There we go. Look at that. Let's see. Where you at, Uncle Joe? This guy was a hardcore liberal before he changed. So was Elon. Both of them were hardcore fucking liberal. Yeah, he was a big time Democrat. And he said, even when he was doing Trump, he said, I'm kind of a Democrat, man. By the time it was all said and done, he's like, fuck this.
He was a Bernie guy in 16.
Yeah. I mean, and I've been noticing lately. We've been, or I shouldn't say we, but the Democrats have been losing about 2 Democrats a day. I don't know where they're going. Some are going independent, some are going Republican. There've been some big ones leave. It's looking like what they're going to end up with is the squad and the old people, and then that's going to be their party. So you're going to have one crazy and one other. I don't even know what to think about that. And you know what? When I was young, I was a Democrat. I switched over to Republican. Then I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna be a centrist because I hate both parties." It's
I've been a Republican since '72. So my Aunt Chris, my dad's sister, was the chairman of Richard Nixon's re-election campaign for the state of New York in '72.
That's cool.
That's how long I've been a Republican. 53 fucking years.
but that's good. That's good to stay with a party. That's why I became a centrist. I like being centrist because sometimes I can't make up my fucking mind. So I'm like, well, this will work for me. I can say that one's an asshole and that one's an asshole. Like, I like.
I got a couple of things. One, I'm an entrepreneur. I own a couple of companies, so I am all about low taxes. I want to keep more of what I make, and I don't trust the government to spend it. So that's like right there.
Trump's going to give you some of that. He's going to give you some of the. I was reading through this big, beautiful fucking bill, which we'll talk about when we come back. But there are some breaks in there for people like us who own their own businesses. If you're under like $500,000 a year, there's some breaks in there that can really help you out money wise. There's some breaks in there for people who got kids. There's quite a few breaks in there for middle class. Now, by saying that, you poor people, you're getting screwed. It's not that you're getting screwed. It's just if you can work, they're going to put you to work. If you don't want to go find a job,
is that a bad thing? If you
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Oh no, It's somebody asked me the other day because I just retired. They said, "Well, you're going to lose your retirement." I said, "No, I'm grandfathered now, my friend." I said, "I just squeaked in at 62." I said, "So I'm probably last motherfucker that squeaked in at 62." It's 65 now, people. Sorry, that's the new law changed it, and I can understand why they did it. I mean,
well, you know why they picked 65 initially, back when Roosevelt came up with the big deal or whatever the hell it was called. You know why they chose 65 as retirement age in 1936?
Because nobody lived that long.
That was the life expectancy of the American population, 60. They never thought anyone would collect.
Yeah, it would just build up, and then the baby boomers came along and proved their asses wrong. Anyway, let me play this clip right quick. What's that, Christopher? No, man, that's true. What he's saying is absolutely true. They didn't think we were going to live that long, and all of a sudden, baby boomers said, "We're going to live to a fucking 100. What you going to do about that?"
Yeah.
Was when AOC was talking to that lady, and she asked her to expand
about Israel-Palestine.
Oh my God!
Well, I believe absolutely in Israel's right to exist.
She just collapsed into herself.
It's literally like a 5th grader that didn't study.
Look at that incident more through just as an incident.
And then they ask you about the subject, or you didn't read the book. Well, it's about Billy and his dog.
What people are starting to see, at least in the occupation of Palestine.
And they think she's going to be president.
The crazy thing about that interview is that her first comment comes off with like total authority.
I am a proponent of a 2-state solution.
One little follow-up question. The question's like, well, what do you mean by that? And then you just see her get weaker and weaker.
You use the term the occupation of Palestine. What did you mean by that?
But what do you mean by that? She's like, I don't know what I'm talking about, man. And she literally goes, I'm really not the expert.
Do you think you can expand on that? I am not the expert on geopolitics on this issue.
She just gave up.
Oh my God! I mean, come the fuck on! Oh man, we got a couple other ones, but I mean, this is the lady who's supposed to be the next president of the United States.
So here's my thought on AOC and the communist Mahami or whatever he is. Let's go to the socialist communist guy who won in New York, the Democratic primary.
I'm surprised at the result.
Damn it, stop, Dan.
One of my favorite interviews.
Stop. Damn, sorry, guys. I didn't want to stop there. It was like, fuck you, Joe. What were you saying, man? I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay. So there's 13 million people in New York City. 900,000 people voted in the Democratic primary. This guy got 400,000 of the 900,000 votes of 13 million people living in the city to win the Democratic primary. So when they say, "Oh, he's overwhelmingly won," no, he got so few votes compared to everybody else, and he's an imbecile. He's really. I don't know how he got. I got an MBA at Columbia. I am
Mike, didn't
embarrassed
we
that
have
this guy went to Columbia.
Somewhere we got him in his little trailer dancing. I really think they should put that up every time. What's his name opens his mouth? Eric Adams opens his mouth. He should have that playing in the background.
Yeah,
I mean, he reminds me of what's his name from the Ukraine. Go ahead.
So I've never been a big Eric Adams fan. So I did a movie last year called The Relentless Patriot. So this is kind of funny, and it's about Scott Lebedo, who's an activist artist in Staten Island, and so he does these little shtick things. If you guys are in the East Coast, you had to see him. So Eric Adams is trying to close down all the pizza ovens in New York, the coal-fired pizza plants, for climate change. So this guy, Scott Lebedo, orders like 50 New York pies and starts throwing it over Gracie Mansion on the gate. And he gets, the police come and they arrest him. He goes, "No, all I'm just feeding the pigeons. I'm just feeding the pigeons." And he gets arrested and he goes to jail and he gets out. So Mayor Adams make no mistake, he's a liberal, but he's less of a lunatic than this friggin' socialist communist. And plus, he's going to be Trump's little bitch because Trump dropped the charges against him from going to jail. So that's my 2 cents.
Oh yeah, so you could see when him and Trump got together, it looked like, all right, this is where we're going to go. So will he pull the GOP vote? Probably. If Trump endorses him, he'll probably pull the GOP vote. Is Pretty Boy, the ex-governor, going to run against Adam? I don't. If he does, it guarantees the other guy wins.
Yeah, he'll split the vote and the other guy will win.
Yeah, I don't know who the Republican candidate is. I haven't looked.
Curtis Leawood, the Guardian Angel guy.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Well, he's not going to win. Shit.
Now, he's run 3 times. He's got 22% each time.
Yeah. So he just doesn't have what it's going to take. So they really need for Eric to step up. They need Como to sit out of this. And Como knows this. If he gets in there, either way, nobody. They're not. Neither two guys are going to win.
Cuomo's having the Zorhan guy investigated because Zorhan put down that he was black on his college application for his Ivy League college. So
he was black and Asian.
Black and Asian.
Oh my God! You just got to wonder how these fucking people.
And black people
get away with this shit.
Black people have come forward saying that this isn't right. How dare you? There was a whole protest today about it.
Crazy shit.
Yeah, they're going to go after it.
So I appreciate the invite, Michael, and so I want to definitely come back again. But I'll come much earlier next time so I can spend a little bit more time. But I'm going to sign off as well, and so. But yeah, I'm happy to do the book thing on the author. So let's Michael share.
I'll get Michael to get you information, get it set up. I'll see what days we got. I got to talk to the guy who books the show and see what days we got open because I got a guy out of Cali that books our shows for, so I can be a lazy ass. But you'll book whoever I tell him. Well, we get a lot of the writers of the future, illustrators of future winners. We bring on and talk about and bring them on there and let them talk about winning the prize and being flown out to California and set up in a hotel in Hollywood and the whole 9 yards. It's really, I mean, every big, pretty much every illustrator is a big name, and every author has a movie to their name. So it's a nice group of people.
And you guys have a great
on, man. Thanks
great
for coming on. We always
all right, brother. Thank you, Michael, for the invite. Hey, nice to meet you. You guys have a great rest of your night.
You got an open invitation, brother, man.
All right, thank you, guys. Have a great night.
All right, dude.
Okay, why are we seeing the Outer Realm on our show list, man? Well, what the fuck is going on here? Okay, I wasn't looking for none of that. I was looking. We had some. Oh, you know what? I'm in the wrong place. That's why. It's where the hell am I? Where is the playlist at? Son of a biscuit eater. I don't know where the playlist is. Let's get out of here and see. Oh, look, it's Amelia. Look, Amelia ain't seen you in forever. I should play it just because it's Amelia, man, because I haven't seen her in that forever. We got meetings coming up in the future, so I'm going to talk to her about coming and joining some of the meetings because she's who keeps me out of trouble. So I'm going to say, Amelia, I need you to come keep me out of trouble, sweetie. It's oh wait, what's Bill Maher got to say over here? Oh wait, hold on. Let's turn Bill Maher on. Where is we at? Oh, he's up there. I like when he puts it on the screens like that, and I don't have to do any work. But there's another Joe Rogan clip right underneath him. Well, hold on, Joe. Let us do Bill. Where is?
Democrats' problem is the energy of the parties with the young and the young are with the terrorists. That's not good. So talk to your children and remind them you don't really want to live like your heroes in Hamas. All the shit you do all day, it was all made in America. Your smartphone, your Grubhub, your freedom to bitch about America, that's all American stuff. You tell your phone you want a milkshake and a guy brings it to your house. Please, you couldn't survive a week living in Intifadaville.
This might be the most uncomfortable truth Bill Maher's dropped all year.
The Democrats' problem is the energy of the parties with the young.
We love you, Bill.
Holy shit. He said what?
Please keep Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s name out of your
This was
mouth.
good.
He was a proud and unapologetic black man fighting for equality for black Americans and all marginalized people.
I appreciate my Democrat colleague for exemplifying exactly the kind of oppression of freedoms that we're referencing. How about we'll quote whoever we want to quote? How about that's my First Amendment right? How dare a white Republican quote Martin Luther King? We actually had a congressman say that just now. Thank you, good lady, for once again exemplifying the type of oppression that we stand against. We will quote who we please, and we will continue to speak freely. I'm a veteran. That's the country that I serve. That's a constitution I swore an allegiance to, and that oath has no expiration date. I will fight for it with my last life's blood, for my right to speak freely.
He put her right in the
and
fucking
yours.
place.
Holy shit.
Think only Trump.
Most
Think only Trump had issues with the press? Watch this hilarious Reagan moment.
I know it's getting late here, but it's not often that we have so many people who flip those and broadcast about it.
Oh shit. Oh, Nancy.
So, in the press and radio and television,
Nancy wants to say like something.
what is it? Word.
Think only Trump had issues with the...
Most men don't know this, but ED medication, it has two essential...
Watch this Democrat instantly regret lying about Trump in front of an actual lawyer.
He's guilty of 3 so far.
Wait, what do you mean he's guilty of 3 so far?
Well,
What
he's
are you
been
talking
convicted
about?
of 3, sorry.
No, he hasn't.
I love this. Eugene Carroll was guilty.
That was not a conviction. That was a civil case.
Okay, well, yes, so that's what I'm talking about. So that
Okay, but there's a big difference.
It's still he was convicted. He was guilty of that. He got a settlement. In the
These other guys
the
ain't saying
Trump
his fucking
organization,
word.
they're guilty there.
That,
okay,
again, was
the
still
CFO.
civil, liable.
Yes, of course. But these are the cases we're talking about. And in the third one,
she's a lawyer, right?
Yeah, of course. And in the third one, I'm just talking about the 5 cases. Yes, some are civil, obviously, and some are not.
She's
Some
a
are
lawyer,
criminal.
right?
If we look
You
at all
said
5
3
cases,
convictions. Now you're walking it back.
I'm not walking it back. There's
Get it
3 in
straight.
which he was.
You should walk it back.
Watch this Democrat instantly...
Oh shit. Oh, what's this?
Letters on the sky.
Sorry guys, we can't watch this. All right,
Do you
wait,
remember this
wait,
moment?
now, damn
I
it.
still get chills watching it.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
We love
A
you,
lot of you
Seth.
don't understand
That's
why
you were here.
Trump
All right,
was
let me
so
out of here.
popular, but I get it
Oh,
because I hear it every day. He's very loved. The reason he's loved is because people in Ohio have never seen somebody like him. That first debate, I'd never seen anything like it. I've never seen a white
Let me out
male
of here, man.
billionaire.
How you get out of here? We gotta get out of here if we get in trouble. Oh wait, sorry guys and girls. Sometimes we get a little carried away there. That was our musical interlude, and that's what that was.
4th of July, man.
James, what do you mean? No, we were talking about Diddy earlier. Between like 4 of us, we think he's getting from 0 to 10. Just pick somewhere in there and make yourself happy. What do you mean? What about Sean?
I'm here.
Well, some
Well, no,
fireworks.
Sean's got like 15 kids. You better leave him alone, man.
Who, me?
Yes. And I mean, 15 of them. I mean, that's a lot.
How in the hell did I get 15, dude?
I don't know, but he's got 15 apparently. Heidi's got like 35. Jesus. I don't know how you. I'm trying to figure out 15. 35 is insane. You mean the station manager? I don't talk about the station manager.
I gotta do a better job of looking at this chat.
I don't talk about the station manager. Sorry.
Hey, where'd Jay go?
Jay said he had to crash. He's tired.
He's tired.
We only got like 35 minutes left, but he looked tired too when I seen him earlier tonight. Who, me? No, I had internet problems. It's so busy for 4th of July here that my internet went down. Oh, the poor guy. Oh no, Mr. Montaldo. We tried to. I said, you better fix my internet. I can't say how. I do record those calls in case I need to play them online, but I wish when I talk to a tech person, I don't want to say I wish they speak English because they do speak English, but they need to speak American. So I know what the hell they're saying. I mean, I know they get a hard time listening to me. Oh man, some Pakistani or somebody. It's somebody from the Middle East. I'm like, look, I'm sure he has a hard time understanding me. I'm a coon ass, but still. What do you mean? What's a coon ass? It's you never seen a coon's ass before. Where the hell you live? I don't know where the hell you live. You must live in some state that don't have coon asses. It's Michael's just a retard. What can I tell you? Somebody dropped him.
Why'd you say that, man? Why?
It's because somebody dropped him on his head when he's a baby. That's why he's so tall. So that's why he's so tall. They dropped him on the head when he was a baby, and then they picked him and they picked him up by his ankle and held him upside down. And he stretched.
Oh,
Boomba.
Just tell you, no. Michael and I are both Italian, and the guy who was here was also Italian.
Frank's all Italian. I'm 27%.
Jay is some green guy. I mean, not Jay. Sean is some green guy.
I'm 27% Italian, man, but I grew up on an Italian block, which makes me even more Italian.
I bet you ate like a king, didn't you? Your neighbors feeding you?
I'm 37% Italian, I believe.
I'm also German, Irish, Welsh, and Slavic.
Holy crap, man! That's a mixture of everything.
Yeah, I'm 40% British, Irish, Welsh, and whatever the other one was.
Believe it or not, I'm 85% Irish, 15% Polish.
That's cool.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah,
that's strange. What do you mean, Denise? Oh no, you know what? We're gonna go through some links in a few minutes, but oh yeah, well we didn't get to tonight, so we'll get to some of this stuff tomorrow. So I'm going through these links today. Oh, Diddy, you go to jail, you don't go to jail. We'll discuss it when you go to jail. Let me get you out of my links, my little thing. Yeah, we know. Yeah, well, he didn't want to let Diddy out of jail because he was scared Diddy's going to run, which makes me think the charges may be higher than what we're thinking they are. But then again, they might not be. In the end, this is really what it comes down to. And we all know this. The judge does what the judge wants to do. And then the other people can go after the judge.
I think he's got to watch out for his safety, man.
I think he does too. That's a very. I think both of them have to watch out for their safety. The judge and Diddy. I don't know, but anyway, Well, we'll know. Well, Mike said October, so we're not even gonna. We're just gonna be kind of, have to worry about Tootsie Roll Man when October gets here.
Yeah, things will cool off by then. It'll be
Yeah.
October.
And that'll actually help. That'll actually help. That the longer this goes, the better chance he gets of not getting a serious 10, 15.
Halloween coming.
Now somebody sent me this earlier. This is where did it go? Oh, scientists may have found the blueprint of the human body at the bottom of the ocean. I'm like, what the bleeps? I went through, started reading it. So this really screws with science. This is 600 to 700 million years ago. We're not supposed to be on a planet that long. Right. No, nowhere near that long. We're supposed to be under 2 million years old. It's somebody and then they found a tool in China. They're not sure if man made it or not. It's well before anything.
Show, I'm Michael Langley Live. I'm going to be talking about Macedonia, man. I'm going to be talking about the original religion and then the roots of that. You know what? It's very, 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 very interesting if you don't know the story. But
it's interesting to me.
They basically said aliens came here to create humans as labor to get gold out of the ground because they were from a planet called Nairobi, whatever, that has a 3,000 year orbit around the sun, so we can't see it. But at that point, it's a long time ago. Whatever. That's an interesting story. We're talking about it.
It is. Well, you've got the Sumerians. It's actually the Sumerian story, but Mesopotamia was in on it, and then Egypt was there. All three of them cultures were around the same time, and all of them were very advanced cultures. But the thing of it is, they're right there touching each other. I always found that fascinating that them three cultures were right there with each other, and they all had similar stories of something coming from space and bringing us here.
They wanted gold, man. Gold, dude.
Gold's a great conductor. They may not have wanted it for what we want for, but it's an excellent conductor. So that's my.
I have a lot of cool information. Even the sculptures they had of DNA, and this is 4,000 years before Christianity. And
so throw this into the middle of it. The Dogon, who also were around at the same time, said that the reptilians came down and stole the women, raped them, and they were different. Well, the Sumerians say the same damn thing. That the reptilians came down, stole their slave labor, got them pregnant, sent them back, and that slave labor had now become us, the children of man. The children before that aren't us. The slave labor is not actually us. They were demeaning. They didn't really ask why. They weren't sentient like we are. Nobody's talking to you, Siri. Shut up. Goddamn sneaky bitch over there trying to talk to us. It's interesting stuff. There's a lot of good stuff down there.
You doing that again?
But Captain Narebru, I had to break his little heart about Narebru. But so the problem with Narebru was it was a 3,600 year orbit. Well, the Chinese and the Toltecs and the Mayans and the Aztecs and even the Egyptians were great astronomers, and they never saw the planet. And they were been around for 5,500 years, 6,000 years. So it should have came by twice in that time, and it didn't. It never came around even once. So the problem is maybe, and a lot of us think what happened is Narebru's the fifth planet, the one that's destroyed. It got destroyed coming through. Or it destroyed something coming through. The problem with Narebru is it's supposed to be a planet 5 times the size of Earth. They can't get close to us because it would crush us. It would destroy our planet. So you have to bring in science and physics into that. So they could come in the solar system, but just couldn't come around us. And that's what they think may have happened. It may have interacted with another planet and got destroyed. And that's what the debris field is. And we'll know when we start searching that debris field.
They said that it collided with the Earth, and all the dust and the crap from the Earth became the moon with all the dense gravity, and it just formed into a ball.
If Narebru would have hit us, we'd be going. Yeah, if Narebru would hit us, we'd have been going.
That's what I'm thinking. Unless it hit something else and then destroyed that.
So if it hit the fifth planet, and then you see they got that big gouge through Mars. So it could have came through, hit that fifth planet, and then came through and caught Mars. That might have slowed it down and twisted it. That might have put it close enough to us to drag the moon or whatever, a big chunk of it into us, or maybe a chunk of whatever that planet where the fifth planet was into us.
Yeah, but dude, think about this. They said that they needed the gold flakes to purify the air from the planet they were on. I'm telling you, man, you can make a case for Mars, and you can make a case for.
Well, you can make a case for all of them. It really and truly, when you sit down and look at this, it is possible that Earth, Mars, Venus, and the fifth planet all existed at the same time and all had life on them at the same time. As far as we know, the reptilians, humans, and grays came from them 3 planets that have been destroyed. And that might be why they're roaming around, fucking around on our planet all the time. I mean, it's just an argument. Nobody could tell you for sure, but we will know when we get into that asteroid field if there's anything intelligent in there or was anything intelligent, because we did know this. Originally, science said it was just debris left over from a planet that didn't form. And then recently they found stuff that can only be made by the compression of a planet growing and compressing stuff inside of it. So now they know it was probably a planet at one time. And then they find this asteroid that is worth more than everything on Earth 36 times. So
Wow.
so right now I think the global economy is like 150 trillion. So it's 150 trillion 36 times. So like Elon said, that's enough to come back, pay off the entire debt of our country, give everybody $1 million, and put at least $40 trillion in the coffers. One asteroid, just one, and there's more than one of them out there. There's a shitload of them in there full of all kind of stuff. So that's why they want to go to Mars, so they can set up a mining colony on Mars that will mine the asteroid belt. It's interesting stuff, and it is the future. There's 2 futures coming up. We're going to start mining helium-3 off of the moon, especially now that China got up there. We're definitely going to get up there a lot faster now because we don't like losing. And we're going to do Mars too. There'll be so much stuff coming to this planet. And you know what? I agree with Elon. It's better to mine there on Mars. That way, if there's any accidents or any pollution, it's on Mars, not here. And then you just bring the material that's been finished here and sell it here. And same thing with the moon. You mine the helium-3 up there and you bring it back here ready to use. But there's enough helium-3 on Earth. I mean, on not on Earth, but on the moon. Power this planet for 100,000 years. That's insane. I mean, that's a lot of power. That means we don't need no more stupid wind propellers anymore. We don't need no more solar energy. We don't need any more electric cars. These will be things that do our fusion plants for us. That'll be the ingredient that runs our fusion plants that will power our cars, our homes, our lighting, our jets, everything. It's badass. And then, of course, whatever we find out in the asteroid belt will be brought here too. Well, some of it will be brought to Mars, but some of it will be brought here as well. It's fascinating. I don't know if any of us will live to see it because it's probably in the next anywhere from 10 to 50 years, but it's going to happen. It's already happening.
We'll be dead. We'll be dead, Joe. We'll be dead.
We'll probably be dead, but we'll probably get to see helium-3 brought to Earth. We probably maybe might get a little bit of what's going on Mars, but that's probably about it. And that just depends on how much longer we live. If we live another 20, 30 years, then we'll get to see some of this stuff. But none of the major.
I don't want to live that long. I don't want to live that long. I'll be 90 years old, dude. No, I don't want that.
But you know what? I'm going to tell you a little secret. The guy I bought this house from, old man Joe, he was 94 when I met him. This son of a bitch got up every morning, went to the gym, got in his car, went right. He drove me up here to look at this house. He was as active as anybody I know at 60. It was amazing to me. So it does show you can have a life, but you got to take care of yourself and you got to be. And I mean, he may have just had good genes,
Yeah. Well,
he may have.
Okay. So I mean, you can look. I knew the dude. No lie. He was a recovering alcoholic and perfect health. Went to the gym, ate right, the whole 9 yards. He went out for a walk, came back, sat in his chair, had a heart attack, and died.
Yeah, that should happen. It happened.
I mean,
well, look at what's his name, that professional biker. He exercised every day, did all the right thing, ended up with testicular cancer and killed him at 36. So I've always said the same thing when it comes to death. When it's your time to go, it's your time to go. Because there's a couple of times there's a couple of times through my life that I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm amazed I'm alive. So that made me realize when it's your time, because frankly, there's some shit that
Right.
went down. I, I don't even know how I made it out of some of it. So it's just like, what do you mean? No, that's stuff I can't talk about.
He was on steroids, Paul.
It was mostly classified, but there's been like car accidents when my boy rolled his Galaxy 500 3 times. We all walked out of the car. Shit, my boy was in one of them old Granadas, and we're cruising down the highway, and he was trying to show off for his girlfriend, right? So he's doing like this. When he lost control, we went down this deep ditch. The ditch caught the car. We were doing about 80, hit a culvert, shot the car up in the air, and the car hit a pole and just slid down the pole. Now, the two of us were in the back seat. We rolled over on the floor. It's probably what saved us. Both in, they lived, but they were fucked up. What's his name? Dallas, the steering wheel had just pinned his chest against the thing, and her face was just part of the windshield at this point. And but everybody lived, but it's still, nobody should have. But you know what? If I was in a car today and did that, I'd be dead.
You can't say, man. Look at that guy in India and that plane crash that just happened a few weeks back. He walked out, dude. I mean, like this plane fireball, everybody dead. He gets up and walks out. That's crazy.
It was him and one stewardess. They survived the thing. That's why I said when it's your
crazy
to go. Yeah, so it wasn't their time to go. It was just not on the list. Wherever they were going that shit happens on our planet all the time. And then you might just, a good friend of mine, Mike, I went to go visit him one day. He was watching a hockey game. I walked outside and said, "Where's he at?" My aunt's like, "He's out in the backyard." She walked to go get him. He had a aneurysm, burst and killed him. And he'd just beat stage 4 cancer. Just beat it out. He was clean, no problems, no nothing. My nephew Stuart beat stage 4 cancer. Was doing good in his life. He just wouldn't slow down. He had not a stroke. He had something else that put him in a coma. And it's I don't know. Life is a strange thing. No, Jimmy, you never take life for granted. You have to live life for what life is.
Yep.
Well, I'm 62 years old. I'm not in the best. I'm 260 right now, so I need to be around 210.
I'm 288. I've lost 12 pounds.
Yeah. So me and Skinny Boy's on a diet. Well, Mike's like 6 something, so he can carry more weight than we can.
Yeah, but I gained a ton of weight. I'm losing weight, man. I'm eating differently. I'm eating a Mediterranean diet, so just really good protein, almost no bread, limited cheese. But what it is. You want to eat good stuff, and it's very easy to eat bad stuff. It's a very easy.
It is easy to eat bad stuff,
especially the crazy hours that we keep. All of us. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And at night, you don't want to cook. You want to grab something easy. And easy doesn't really equate to nutrition.
What are you talking about? Red meat, Denise? Okay, you can say that about red meat, but without red meat, we'd still be swinging in the trees, baby.
Yes, that's fact.
That's how it worked.
Cows are vegetables, man. Cows are the
they are
vegetables. They eat vegetables. They are vegetables.
Yes, and I got to tell you this. A girl, she was vegan, was going for that Impossible Burger shit, right? And
I hate them things. My wife's eaten them a couple times.
But check this shit out, right? And so she wanted to start an argument with me, and I looked at her and I said, "What do cows eat?" And she said, "Grass." I said, "Okay, so that cow must be vegetarian then, huh?" She didn't like that.
Cows are vegetarian. I mean, when it comes right down to herbivores.
I was reading a study about dog food and what dogs eat. That dogs don't get to eat roughage, and then in the study they said that they do because they're eating animals like chickens or cows that do eat roughage. So they are getting those same nutrients, man. Just interesting. And then I just read an article the other day about vegetarians and how they've done long-term studies now, decades long, and they realize there's a lot of vitamin deficiencies in vegetarians. And also the age, what age you are versus what age your body really is.
That's true.
They said that frail bones and things like that. And yeah, you can be vegetarian and be healthy and have a lot, enough calories, but it's not the same as processing meat, in our bodies.
What is that? So no, actually, my legs are in good shape. My arms. The only thing really I got is a belly. Yeah, and you know what? It's a COVID belly. That's where I got it doing COVID. Sitting on my ass, not doing anything. And now
Good
I'm
old
retired.
COVID-19, Instacart, and DoorDash. That's right. That DoorDash, man.
No, I don't use no DoorDash because DoorDash is outrageous, man. I mean,
is
so you go to if I go take my car, go down to McDonald's, and say I get three hamburgers, some fries, some drinks, it's like $18, $19. If I do
Bullshit.
DoorDash, it's
like
$40.
35.
Yeah, well, that's because you live in Yankee land. Us Southerners don't pay that kind of stuff. We don't even allow. It's funny to me, and I really feel for a lot of my friends that live in the North because the South doesn't put up with certain things that y'all do, and we're just like, no. You're going to charge what? No. We will put a grocery store out of business before we'll go pay outrageous prices. So, like Claiborne Hill and Rouse's, which are two nice stores and they're kind of expensive, ended up having to price within less than 10% of Frugals and Walmart, or people won't go there. They just won't. And same thing with gas. It's just there's certain things they won't put up with, and we like our food to be organic, but it's funny. It always cracks me up that they charge more for organic food. What the fuck is that? Organic people. So you understand, organic means there's nothing in the damn chicken. There's no special foods. They're eating bugs and roaches and shit. I said they're not getting hormones. They're not getting anything. So that's what makes the chicken more expensive is all that processing. But you're paying twice as much for an organic chicken that has nothing done to it but run around the fucking yard. You're stupid, people.
He's right. Joe, you're right. You're right on that.
It's the same thing with cows or anything else. I mean, no, people, I grew up on the ranch. I understand what this shit is, and I know the difference between processed and organic.
You know what a capon is. You know what a capon is?
Yeah. So like with our cows, we used to do, they would go out in the field and eat, and they would plant different types of grass for them because they wanted different flavors. But 6 months before they were going to slaughter, they went on a molasses oats mix, and that's all they ate. And the salt block, that's all they got. And it gave the meat a much richer, cleaner, with a little bit more fat in it flavor. But all of that was still organic. None of the feed or the grass was anything but organic. They'd put a little molasses in the feed too to make the cows eat it more. But it was oats and corn and stuff like that. It wasn't nothing special. It smelled really good because of that damn molasses. But that's what they ate just before they were going to slaughter. Actually, the way it worked is I shouldn't even say it like this. So they would eat until they were shitting gold, and then they went to the slaughterhouse. Same thing. Yeah, that's just the way they did it.
Well, you know what? Mexican, we get our filet mignons from Mexico. We get that.
Some of them are good from Mexico. Some of them are watery.
They suck. That's my opinion. Sorry if I offended anybody in Mexico for saying that, but
some of them do suck. I mean, you got to be honest.
And you know what else sucks? Australian meat. We get that.
I don't think I've eaten anything from Australia.
That's the. And sorry, miss all Australian people, but it's terrible, terrible.
But you know it's terrible is Kansas or whatchamacallit beef, that sage beef. That's the nastiest shit I have ever eaten. So my business partner, we had just made a big job. And we ran in this guy, I think it was from Omaha, whatever. And he was selling all those beefs, right? Steaks. So we bought 2 big cases of it. That shit I gave it away. I ain't shitting you. I gave it away. It tasted like I was chewing on sage grass. I was like, nope, this ain't never going to happen again. So I actually called Omaha and asked. He said, oh, well, that's because they eat sage and that's the extra flavor. And I said, that shit's funky nasty is what that is. It was nasty. Mexican beef is weird because sometimes I'll get a good steak from there. I don't buy them often, but most of the time it's like they puff them up with water.
There's no leanness. It's all lean. It's pure lean. It's like eating a freaking deer. Honest to God, you need to put pork in it in order to make it taste Good.
We get some good deer down here from sometimes, but the deer down here get to eat on cantaloupe and shit and mushmelon, so it's a little different. What's that, John? No, mushmelon is a form of a cantaloupe, yeah. So what they do is people plant like 50, 80 acres of this stuff, and they plant soybean, and the deer just come in. And then what they like the deer because the deer come in and top the soybean. They don't eat the whole soybean, just the tops. So they top them and make them bush out.
They do that with the corn farms here.
Yeah.
They just eat
they get in there and they bust up their mushmelons and they eat them. So it's like I was telling you when the cows should a certain color, well, they'll wait till the deers are pooping gold. They'll harvest them. They'll kill them and bring them in. It's oh man, I have eaten deer strap filet within 45 minutes of killing a deer. Oh man, I'm telling you, I go on the fucking.
Why? I don't understand why people do that, Joe. Why do you do that?
It's tender, it's juicy, it's flavorable.
No need fat and gristle.
No, not on these. These fillets. It's just a strap. It's just a top fillet. You cut that piece off the top, and it's really, really lean. Actually,
I had a great steak the other day. What Sean told me about chuck eye.
You had that?
Yep. It was. You know what? It was $14, 1.3 pounds, man. It was a really great tender steak. It was very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got to get the right one.
Thanks for the recommendation. Sean knows meat. He knows his deal.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah,
it was better than the ribeye that I had, man. And the ribeye was like $10 more, like $26.
Yep.
Yeah, ribeyes are more expensive.
That's what I tell everybody. Just get a chuck eye steak. It's all you need.
Chuck
I've eaten there.
People should remember that chuck eye.
I'll get a round sometime just to put into a gravy. And I got to be honest, I'll get a London broil every once in a while. As long as you know how to cook them, they're good.
Yeah, they are. And you know what? There's a lot of guys up here that like to make turkey out of the London broil. And
see why,
buy, like 3 or 4 of them. And I'll have to cut them so damn thin for them.
But them 7 steaks, I don't know. I haven't made up my mind on them yet. I go back and forth. They call them 7 steaks down here.
The hell's that?
I don't know. I'd have to look at it, but that's what they call it. They call it a 7 steak. It's only about yay thick. Where'd you go? It's about yay thick, and it usually is about this long. It kind of looks like a skinny London broil is what it looks like. That's what it looks like. But but that's what they call them 7 steaks. I'd have to look it up to see exactly.
I have never heard of that cut before. Never.
It's some kind of weird cut, and then they got the flank steaks. We see those down here a lot too.
How much do they charge you for a flank down there?
Probably about $10.
They're like $16 up here.
They're about $10 down here. London broil used to be $8. Now it's about $12. For a nice London, about an 1.5 inch thick, nice long steak. Because I learned with a London broil, if you do them right, you can make them tender. There's 2 things about Londons. You gotta season them right, juice them up real good. Make sure you cut them. Make sure you cut them right, because if you cut them the wrong way, they are tough as shit.
Yeah. But if you cook it down, I mean, for like 2.5 hours, man, 3 hours, you cook that down. Oh my God, it's so tender, they fall apart. Have a sour braten. Sour braten, man. Take that London broil, and then you have red cabbage with that. That is some good stuff.
And then there's the sirloins. We get sirloin steaks down here pretty cheap. I mean, they're usually $7-8 a pound, but
that's the poor man's steak. That's the poor man's steak.
That's exactly what that is, the poor man's steak. And when you go to a steakhouse, that's what they are at the steakhouse, the poor man's steak. And you know what? Steakhouses can't cook them. They're always fucking tough as shit. Some of them guys just need to go home. Look, and then I watched a guy fuck up a ribeye one time. I don't even know how you fuck up a ribeye. I mean, all you do is put it on a grill, throw some salt and pepper on, take it off at medium and eat it. Or medium rare, depending on what you want. But I mean, that's it. You don't have to do anything else. They're a flavorful steak.
Let me tell you another secret, man. Okay. Now,
it's steak hour, Jim.
Okay, real quick. Okay, Delmonico's, right? They're boneless. But if you get a rib steak, which is a Delmonico but has the bone on it, it's a lot better and it's cheaper. It's called a rib steak.
Probably got more flavor in it too.
A lot of flavor. Now you take the bone off that, then you got your Delmonica.
Yeah. What are you talking about, Chris? What are you talking about? No, that's a ribeye. No.
I like
The
brisket
road.
too, man. Brisket, especially like smoked, like what coming from like
If they made like I like a
barbecue, like a
brisket.
real barbecue place that makes barbecue like brisket. Oh my god, it is good stuff.
Brisket
If it's
sucks.
if it's made right, I like it. But it's got to be done right. It's there's a barbecue
It's
place
gotta
down
be
here.
barbecue, man. It's
Yeah.
gotta be from a real.
But I'll tell you what, down here they take it, they slice it up, and then they chop it up. They make it into so you put it on sandwiches and shit. That way
That's
it's
what I'm
tender.
talking about. That you have it with some baked beans, man. There's some good stuff.
Well, some of these places just want to give you some chunks of, and that just sucks. They can just keep that. I don't even want to bother with that. What? Oh, you mean today? I made we had a big, huge a big, huge ham, which by the way they ate all but the fucking bone. I put in a couple of different types of sauces, some plasky, some green onion, and some garlic. Yeah, put those in there. Put in we did a 6 or 7 fillets and 8 or 9 ribeyes. Well, no, I do New York's, but New York's I don't give a fuck how good it's hard to make a New York tender. I mean, you got to tenderize the shit out of that steak before you put it on it. Yeah, they do suck. I mean, they're cheap, but well, technically, the New York is the outside of a porterhouse, but on a porterhouse, it's different. Well, you get the filet and the New York and a porterhouse, but it's different because you got the bone in there, and the bone helps that first off to give it more flavor in that New York because there's a flavor. There's hardly no flavor in the New York, and also helps tenderize it a little bit. If you take a New York and just throw it on the grill by its little lonely self, it's going to be tough and dry. It's just going to be a nasty steak. I mean, it's not. I'm just telling you, people, you want to get a real. Yeah, it's Well, I can understand people want them because they're cheaper and they're pretty, but I mean, you got to work for New York. It's not like a ribeye. Ribeye, you just spit and throw it on the grill. Because ribeye comes with.
I'll tell you why the New York strip is so. It's just popular because for a long time they advertised the shit out of it, and like real quick, for instance, the tilapia, the fish tilapia. Okay, that was so cheap when it first came out, and it's a good fish. But what happened was people started to eat it, and then they wrote articles in the newspaper, so they jacked it from, we'll say, $3.99 up to $7.99. That's the same way with Orange Roughy. Orange Roughy was like $2.99, and then people started to like Orange Roughy, and they jacked that up to $10.99 a pound. Yeah, absolutely, dude.
So a lot of the fish down here, you can go to the fish market and usually save yourself a good bit of money. Catfish, though, so catfish is weird here because you can get it 4 or 5 different ways. You can get it actually, there's 2 different types of form-fed catfish you can get. Regardless, they're going to be tender. And I like my catfish about this. I don't like that real thin catfish because I feel like I'm just eating batter, but not too thick. I don't want it overly thick. Same thing with speckled trout. I can eat the shit
like
out of
catfish.
Oh, I like a good cat.
But you know
as long as it ain't one of
that catfish.
Well,
You know what?
Linda cooks
What
all
you do on the
I don't fuck with
catfish is you soak it in milk.
Yeah, we do that. I'm sorry. Pretty much all the fish we do. The only fish we don't soak in milk is like a gargolai or a perch. A gargolai is just an oversized perch. It's what it is.
Oh, I
I love a good perch. I leave the fins on the perch and everything because the fins are crunchy. Well, we get yellow pellet perch down here. We got a couple different types of perch down here. Blue belly, yellow belly, yeah, and then the gargolai is just, like I said, an oversized perch. But you got to be like most perch you catch. Yeah, it's basically what it is. It's a bluegill. That's basically what it is. They just call them gargolais down here. But that's what it is. It's a bluegill. And it's just an oversized perch. It's a little bigger than the regular perch. And but you can catch it. You can go to ponds if you can catch the shit out of some perch. You can catch them in my bayou when the water's fresh. But right now, when the water's kind of salty, if they come down, the big fish are. Yeah, the big fish will eat them.
All right, Joe. So when I hear you say perch, are you talking bluegill?
I'm talking. We have when we do perch, we do yellow belly. We got yellow belly, orange belly, blue belly, and green belly. So we have like 4 different types of perch. And the bluegill, which is technically a perch, it's just bigger. So bluegill gets about like this. We get the camera about like this, and about this thick. The other perch, the sun perch, are about half that size, and they're all good fish. I'm not hating on any of them. They're all good fish. I used to catch the shit out of all of them for my dad. He loved them damn things. And then of course we get regular speckled trout, which are beautiful. We get some big ones down here at certain times of the year. But I can go catch a 5-pound redfish in my backyard, just fishing off the bottom with shrimp. Catch some nice catfish fishing off the bottom of shrimp. Catch some crabs. There's quite a few things to catch out in my bayou. You got to be careful with some stuff. That freaking barracuda likes to come up in here every once in a while because it's an estuary. He wants to come up here and feed. My neighbor shot one of them. He's like, yeah, motherfucker, get out of here. Pow.
How big are barracudas on the rig?
The ones I've seen up in here are about 3 foot long, probably 6 inch. They get bigger than that, though. But I haven't seen any bigger than that come up in the bayou.
They got teeth, though, right? They got some rigid teeth.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is there was a 4 foot alligator, a 3 foot alligator, actually. Something bit the side of him out. A little baby shark or something, maybe barracuda, something bit the whole side of him out. It wasn't another alligator, though. I don't know what it was. Because I kept smelling something stinking. I walked over and seen. I said, what the hell happened to this alligator? But something big bit him in the side. Didn't eat him, just killed him.
Wow.
And let him float on the side. What surprised me is there was no crabs on him. Usually when you see something dead like that, crabs are all over their ass.
Yeah.
What
Hey, listen, brother, I got to go. Guys, I got to
we're
go.
getting ready to get out of here. We're getting ready to get out of here. No, Jimmy. It's
Good night.
Water. It's in my backyard. Sean, I'll see you tomorrow. Get some rest, baby.
All right, Sean.
Good night, Mike. All right. See you tomorrow.
In a little while, I'm going to take some pills and go to sleep. Yeah, barracuda get pretty big down here. I would say 4 or 5 feet. I've seen them swimming around with. You know what they remind me of? They remind me of an alligator gar. Not as fat, but they remind me of an alligator gar, which we have a lot of them down here. We get fucking gars that get 6 foot long. I wouldn't get nasty bastards, but you can also catch sheephead and drum in my backyard and croaker. Croakers are pretty good. And we call them croakers because they croak at you when you put them in a boat. But we have both sheephead and drum back here.
So that's a freaking barracuda.
Yeah, they nasty little fish. They tell you not even to mess with them because they'll attack a human. They have no problem.
They do all the time, man. They mess people up. They can kill people.
Yeah, they do. And it's funny to see them in this estuary. Usually other fish will run them out of here, but if it's a big one,
on that thing, man.
If it's a big one, they're not gonna be able to run him out. Now I had a dolphin here, killed one of them. The dolphin stayed here for about 4 weeks.
Look at that. Is that really? Is that real? That is real.
Yeah. They're nasty fish, man. And I mean, you usually see them in deep water. You don't usually see them in shallow water like
some
that.
Shark teeth right there, man.
Yeah, that's some sharp ass, pointy ass teeth. But our bayou in the center all gets pretty deep. What happens though to some of the big fish? They come up in here under the bridge at night, and then the traffic starts going over the bridge, and they won't go out because of the vibrations in the water. They won't leave. Yeah. And if they go too far up the bayou, it gets fresh. So they're kind of confined to this area. And if the game warden finds out, they'll come get them. Anything that's dangerous to humans in here, even snakes, they'll come remove. Because there are a lot of rich people live up in this neighborhood. Not me, but there's a lot of other rich people live up in this neighborhood. Jimmy, here, I'll tell you some of the things we're going to talk about tomorrow night real quick before we leave. Because these are all stuff. So we'll talk a little bit about Trump's big spending bill. John's going to come join us for about an hour tomorrow. So we're going to talk about a couple of different flying cars. The Chinese got a new flying car. We got one that's actually kind of badass looking. And then there's somebody invents this little thing that eats CO2 up. So yeah, screw them, worry about polluting the planet anymore. They invented something to clean it up. Actually, Mike and I were talking about a while back about some stuff, and Jay and I that was eating up the plastic, but This thing actually eats up the carbon in the atmosphere. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, they found initially they found the bacteria that eats all that stuff. So that's kind of interesting.
And then this is one of the ones we're going to play tomorrow. Why is trust breaking down across China? China's starting to have some internal problems. And
Well, what do you think about these European countries that want their gold back now that we've been babysitting their gold for them? Now they want it back because
well, they're not getting it back because they owe us $150 trillion, so they're not getting anything back.
They said they haven't sorted the Federal Reserve.
They what happened was stupid whatever his name was said they wanted the Statue of Liberty back. pissed off somebody in the money part of our country. He went and figured out what they owe us from World War II, somewhere between 150 and 170 trillion. Is what they owe us, trillion. So, and they were like, well, you give us our money, we'll give you your fucking statue. How's that? And so now Europe's got to watch what they're saying, because we may start pushing them. We'll take them to world court because they owe us that money. It's legit. It's a legit thing they owe us. The U.S. backed off because they were trying to help them rebuild, but now they're rebuilt. So where's our money?
Yeah, really.
You know, so $170 trillion would bankrupt. I mean, they're like us, so the $170 trillion would bankrupt them, but they owe us that money. So we could make it on a payment plan, $10 trillion a year or something. But that's money that would pay off our debt and give everybody in our country $1 million and still put money in the coffers.
Or a nice land grab. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that works too. Give us Canada and Greenland and some other places, and we'll cut you a break.
That's right.
But anyway, it goes. They owe us that money, so Europe needs to shut the fuck up when it comes to that, because that's going to bite them in their big ass. It's hey guys, it's we didn't start World War II, we finished it. And like the guys in NATO said, I was amazed to hear the people in NATO talk as good about Trump as they did. And I was amazed to hear that woman head of the EU talk about Trump as good as she did. So I was happy about that for a change. It was nice to hear other world leaders, giving Trump a plug. And I don't know what he told Carney in Canada, but Carney is like, let me give you a blowjob, Mr. Trump. I don't know what the hell he told him, but he did something to him. U.S. tests world's largest $200 million drone. Look at the size of this thing. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Testing U.S. new system. Oh, they were showing them launching jets off the new aircraft carriers. What is this? New FDA ban wipes out burger chain menu nationwide. I didn't see what it was.
I don't know.
So what would they take out of a burger chain to put them out of business?
Whatever they put in their food, whatever foreign matter that they put.
We'll have to root about that. Sounds like something scary. Navy takes 4 Ohio-class battleships and parks them off the coast of North Korea and starts launching rockets that way. Fucking North Korea must be shitting. Scientists say we've been wrong about the origin of life. We'll definitely talk about that one. 300,000-year-old wooden tool found in China. Were they made by humans? They don't think it was made by humans. So who the hell made it?
Exactly.
Inside America's 6th-generation arsenal, not just the planes, but the arsenal. They have the B-21, the F-47, the new F-36. They're showing all kind of crazy shit.
They're doing updates to the F-22 Raptor, man. It's kind of
yes,
funny.
they are. Well, that's because China just did a bunch of updates to it, whatever they call it, something 20J, something 20 or something. I think we got it in this list after. Astronomy race to learn more about the new interstellar visitor. So we have yet another visitor from another planet, another solar system in our solar system, which I don't know what the hell it is. Iran's Fattah hypersonic missile can hit one of our ships in 40 seconds. 40 seconds. So we'll have to see what we're going to do about that. I don't believe that shit, but still, you never know. China's first mass-produced flying car debuts. This thing, this looks like a box or something. There's no wheels on it. Look, people, I'm going to say this again before we talk about this tomorrow night. It's not a fucking flying car if it can't drive on a fucking highway.
Exactly.
It's an airplane or a helicopter or a drone. If it can't drive on a highway, it's not a flying car.
Not a car.
Yeah. You know, you can say whatever it is, but it ain't a car. This thing looks like a
car. You should be able to drive it on the highway. and then boom, like an amphibious vehicle. It's not an amphibious vehicle if you can't drive it on the road and then drive it in the water.
So since Trump came back, the F-47 NAG fighter program is back in with a vengeance. This thing is a beast looking. Y'all will see it tomorrow night. We're just going over some stuff that we're going to have tomorrow night. U.S. allies plan to flex aircraft carrier muscle near China. So since we're not there, they're going to go park 2 of their carriers over there, which is nice of them since we're not there. China pollution crisis, a growing concern for leaders. They just China's every one of these articles is a problem for China. The U.S. Air Force threat to meet. Well, see, this is the F-36. This is going to be some kind of upgraded F-35. NASA uncovers hidden nuclear facility beneath the Arctic ice. First time I've heard about that one. Oh no, guys! So this is all stuff. This is just random stuff. This isn't really the show tomorrow night. This is just stuff that'll float in and out if we get stuck or bored. Tonight we were talking about Diddy, and we didn't even really get into Iran or anything. Well, half of it, excuse me, was my internet wasn't working when we started. The Diddy thing, yeah, Teddy Tootsie Roll Man. Yeah, that's what we're going to call him from now on, Tootsie Roll Man. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. As far as the case goes, I don't know. We'll see. He got off on the big shit. When Mike was talking about it a couple weeks ago, he got off on the big shit. So walking on the big stuff, the RICO and the sex trafficking is big. Now, I did hear that guy today talking about children sex trafficking, but if they had that, I would have thought they would have already used that. I mean, maybe they thought they had it, maybe they didn't.
That was the Southern District of New York that presented that case. They did a terrible job, man. Terrible. I mean, terrible.
The prostitution, it's up to the judge. We talked about this earlier.
Like you said, Joe, he pissed somebody off. That dude pissed someone off, and that's why this whole thing was coming down.
Well, I mean, what do you mean, Chris? No, it's possible that he gets a year or two or time served and has to do some kind of penance or he beat those women up, so he's going to have to go to counseling for that. So
he could have all the famous people he's got, like making PSAs for baby oil, whatever the hell he did.
Well, he could do that too, or they could just put an ankle bracelet on his ass. We're going to have to wait. It's October. Well, I'm with Mike on the prostitution charges. This could go anyway. I mean, really and truly, I know a lot of people have been arrested for bringing prostitutes over the state line. None of them got real jail time. Most of them got big fines.
That's the funny thing. There's madams who have managed, prostitutes' businesses, brought them over lines and they get no time at all. Nothing happens.
Yeah, most of them get big fines. And stuff like that. Now, he's not a madam, so he might actually get jail time because he can't, well, I was going to say he couldn't suck nobody's dick, but I guess he could. But it's still the madams usually, because madams can offer something, service in return. I don't know what Diddy can offer. But he did piss somebody off, so we're just going to have to wait and see if what he did is enough to make this judge go over the edge and give him 10 years. I don't think they can give him more than 10 years on this.
The person that he pissed off is going to reveal themselves at some point.
So think it this way. If the maximum is 10 years, it is a federal crime, so he has to serve 2/3, but that's still, he's out in 7 years. And Fed prison's not like going to state prison. It's not the same. It's not like where the football boys are at. They went to state pen. That's a whole different penitentiary than federal penitentiary. Yeah, it's a different kind of, it's cleaner. It's less violence. It's just different.
Club Fed.
Yeah. So no, we'll see. I mean, like I said, if he gets 10, he'll be out in 7.
He'll be in there with all the other famous people and also politicians.
And I don't think they can give him 20, Josh. I'm kind of with Mike. I don't think they're going to be able to run these concurrent. I mean, look, he's a judge. He can do what the fuck he wants. We see what they did to Trump, so I'm not ruling out anything when it comes to this. But how bad do they want him? I guess that we're going to find out. Now, they come up with like 20 years, and he burned somebody somewhere. And then we just need to find out who that is, because that's going to be the interesting part, whoever that person happens to be.
He still has to stay in that crap hole in Brooklyn that he's in right now, which is a really horrible place, man.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Christopher, we're going to see October. It gives the judge time. It gives the lawyers time. It gives everybody time. What do you think? They're going to drop something else between now and then?
Evidence can always come forward. There can always be evidence. You know what I mean? It would be a different case, a different thing.
Well, I went back and read what they said about the two cases. Mike's right. They're not going to be able to recharge him in those two cases. Or those three, actually. There
are civil cases being brought against him.
They were. Still he's going to lose it. He's going to be like every other Hollywood person. He's going to lose the civil case.
There's civil cases being brought against him, but within those civil cases, there might be criminal complaints coming out of it or criminal evidence. So that's not over. He's not a good guy.
Look at OJ. OJ was found innocent of all charges because he didn't kill them people, and he still paid that money.
That was politics.
I know exactly who killed him. Her boyfriend killed him. Yeah. I don't even know why they didn't go after him. Her boyfriend was a big mafia guy. He had a casino in Vegas. He found out that she was shacking up with that little fucking idiot and had them both killed. That wasn't OJ. OJ had already gotten past her. He was already seeing someone else. I agree. He did look guilty when he was doing this down interstate. But he knew, because he's a black man, he's going to jail.
You got to look at the dog evidence. Whoever committed that murder, the dog knew, because that giant Akita that was trained to attack did not attack the attacker. Whoever that was, and that was OJ's dog, by the way. So whoever that was, that dog did not react to the killer, but the dog was present during the crime. So,
Frank, I'll tell you why I don't think it was OJ. There's a couple of easy reasons. The glove was kind of funny, but first off, the only blood that they found in the car, they found the blood on his sock, a perfect round drop. So if blood hits your sock, it's going to run. It's not going to be a drop. That was a dropper mark. What they found inside the car, in the front, on the driver's floor, it was two perfect drops. Blood doesn't do that. I'm sorry, guys. Blood runs. I've seen it run myself many times. It doesn't do that.
I think OJ did. I think he got zooted on meth, and then he went to commit the crime. He also had cut his finger. He had no explanation for that. And then he was in a movie with Navy SEALs. He had asked them how to kill somebody with a knife fighting, and that type of thing just prior to that. So whatever. You know what I mean? He's dead.
Yeah, he didn't have the balls of killing people the way they were killed.
Everybody's dead, man. They're all dead. They're all gone.
Yeah, but that was a professional hit. He couldn't have done a professional hit. That was even the law enforcement said it was a professional hit. They even said, matter of fact, the only cop that thought he was guilty was the racist cop. All the rest of them said they didn't think he did it because it was a professional hit. They said whoever did that, it was a professional hit. And as far as dogs go, all you got to do is throw them some food. I learned that I learned that a long time ago. Bring some ham or steak with you.
The dog knew the attack.
And the dog was inside. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. He talked about it. The dog was inside. No, he was inside.
With the bodies, as a matter of fact. The dog knew the attacker. I like that chase though. Probably the best thing that happened was the Al Collins the chase with the white Bronco. I mean, that was legendary.
Yeah, the chase with Bronco was just hilariously funny.
Legendary.
That shit was hilariously funny. Plus, they never found any clothes or anything else or any blood on him or anywhere else. But what saved OJ is there was nothing under his nails. There was no way you could have committed that crime without having blood all up underneath your nails. And you couldn't have washed it out. Even a swab from a DNA would have shown.
That was a white glove, man. Or the glove.
Those gloves that fit his hands. If he'd have had them gloves on, there'd have been blood all up in there. That's the other point. Them gloves being as small as they were, there'd have been blood all up in them hands. There's no way he'd have got that. There was so much blood on that scene. There's no way he could have done it. He'd have been puking and gagging the whole time. He'd have puked all over the place. That's why they said it was a professional killer, because most people could not have done that without puking. As far as they can see, he didn't do it anyway.
Not if you zooted on meth. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he didn't do meth, and he was on no drugs. I already proved that. He had no drugs in his system at
I
all.
don't know. He was getting meth from Kato Kalin. That was that whole
No, they drug tested it. He actually, not only did they drug test him, they polygraphed him. Yeah, everything was being set up. Look at this. I love this. I'm running for it, buddy. What do you mean? Well, Jimmy, he looks guilty. I mean, come on, the man's running in his Bronco.
This was the greatest car chase. This was the greatest car chase in history, dude.
And let me tell you what, if this was any other black man, they'd killed this motherfucker in this car chase. This would have not went on like
that thing off the road.
Oh yeah, there's a helicopter there somewhere following him, and then all these cars. Anytime they could have ran up behind him and just pushed the side of the truck and made it spin. I mean, that's tactic 101 for cops.
O.J. Simpson with Al Cowlings driving, man. AC, man.
We're going, man. We're running for it. We're running for it. They're punch it, man. They ain't even speeding. Come on.
I think it's the most watched car chase ever in history, man.
It probably is.
Everyone watched it. It went on for a long time.
It did. It went on for a long time. Well, Marcy, that makes him look guilty, even though he easily was innocent. I think wasn't even nobody voted against him. Oh no, when your boy put on the glove don't fit. You must have quit. That was it. That trial was over with. That and the black and the white guy, they found out he was a racist. They're pretty sure he kind of admitted that he planted blood in two places. That he was it was over with. That trial was done. Look at the cop cars. There's more coming, man.
I'm sure his lawyer told him, no matter what you do, make sure that glove doesn't fit.
You can't do that.
Make sure
unfortunately, they either fit or they don't fit. And he's got big hands. I mean, come on. The man was a football player. He had big hands. It's just. What do you mean? No, he wouldn't have got inside gloves because if the glove came to right where his palm's at, the blood would have rolled down inside of the palm. It would have been in his fingernails. It would have been all over the place. And they didn't find any. They didn't find any blood anywhere. The only place they found blood was on one sock, one little round perfect drop, and two perfect little drops in his truck. If you'd have thrown some clothes down, if there had been fucking blood all over the place, it wouldn't have been two little drops. It's that's what saved him right there. It looks like they set him up. It looks like that other cop set him up. And why would the other cop set him up? Because the mafia put the hit on him and told him, "Hey, dude, I need you to take care of this for me." It's well, there was one guy they looked at who worked for the guy at the hotel that they think probably is the one who did the hit.
I'm saying OJ did it. His face
that's
changed.
True, he shouldn't have ran.
His eyes changed, man. When someone commits murder, you change. You change.
Oh yeah, you change.
You see it. You see it in them, man.
He just became more wimpy. That's why I don't think he did it. He became more wimpy than he was.
But then he got busted for those assaults and went to jail anyway.
And then his family's getting money out of that because they said they put him in jail for way too long for that. They said he should have got 1 or 2 years, not 7. Man, they tore off. That poor judge got in all kind of trouble for that. I think he lost his job and everything. It was no, people. You can't just go around there because you think somebody's guilty. It's like giving the family $26 million. He was proven innocent. There's no way that family should have got $26 million. It just should have never went like that. Just because you think he's guilty, you have to prove someone's guilty. That's the whole reason we have courts.
They were able to prove it in the civil case, though. And
no, they couldn't prove it. That's the problem. They didn't. The jury just gave him the money. That was the biggest thing about that whole jury. That's what they said. The jury itself even said it when they interviewed people. I just thought he was guilty. The evidence didn't prove it. I just thought he was. You see, that should have thrown it out right there. But they didn't. They wanted him to pay one way or another. So they made him pay the $26 million. So I guess some judge somewhere decided that those two lies were worth $26 million. I have no idea. I mean, it was bullshit. It should have never happened. When you win, when you're proven innocent in a court of law, you shouldn't be able to be taken into a civil court.
Civil is different, man.
It is different, but you still shouldn't be able to be charged. You shouldn't be able to be tried for something you won
And
right?
in a civil case, you can't take the fifth. If you take the fifth, it's an admission of guilt.
But what I don't understand is he took a polygraph and passed it. You could use a polygraph in a civil case, and I don't know why they didn't. The judge actually told him, no, you can't bring it in. That would have proved his innocence, because he passed, and he passed it good too. It wasn't like he just barely passed it.
Some people can give that. I bet you can lie your way right through a polygraph.
I could pass a polygraph, but OJ couldn't. He didn't have that kind of personality.
You could say you had horns coming out of your head, and that thing will be like, bing, bing. You're
I've taken like 9 or 10 polygraphs.
Because it monitors your body. If you become tense or your heartbeat or whatever. But if you're confident in saying what you're saying,
y'all want to tell you the easiest way for a rookie to do a polygraph to pass it: take a Valium. And but remember this: take a Valium. But when they ask you your birthday and all, make sure you're still very calm, because they're going to ask you for a lie. And when you give a lie, make sure you make yourself, like, ugh, that way it looks. Because if not, if everything looks the same, they're going to know you're full of shit.
you want to clamp on your butthole.
Do something, man. Do something.
When you lie, you're like,
one or two companies I worked for made me take a polygraph. Yeah, it sucked. No, I didn't pass them all. I failed 2 of them. Yes, I failed 2. One because I started laughing in the middle of it because he asked me a question that I knew I couldn't lie to, and the other one was because I'd been out. I was hungover from the night before, so I was just like, yeah, whatever. But all the rest of them I passed. One of them, the guy knew I was lying. He looked at that's not even counting the ones I just did in DC. Those are different. But the guy knew I was lying. He said, I don't know how you passed it. I said, because I'm telling you the truth. He said, you're not telling me the truth. I can tell by your body language you're not. I said, well, your machine says I am. I said, you got to give me a job. No, he was so fucking pissed. he was pissed. Oh no, you mean Carrie? No, those were for testimony. Those I wasn't trying to lie. Trying to tell the truth.
I think we got to say so long tonight.
Yeah, we got to go. It is 12:25, guys. We should already be out of here. Anything you want to talk about? Send it in. John Goodman's going to stop by a little bit to talk about his show and Writers of the Future. He's just going to hang out for a little while, less than an hour probably, and then we'll be back into all these other things we have to talk about.
Thank you again for Frank Torsha coming on the show, man. Frank,
nice to see him. He's a nice guy. Nice to see him on. Always good to see a fellow Dago. Yeah, it's always good to see a fellow Dago. Maria, come back and see us tomorrow. I will be here on the Author's Quill, and then we'll all be back on the chat. Raising hell, yes. But we got to go because I'm old and I need my sleep. Actually, I'm hungry is what it really is. This fucking show always makes me hungry.
We talk about food.
Yeah, so food, yeah. And anyway, we got to really go, guys. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio and News on the Flip Side. Be sure to come catch us all tomorrow. I'll be doubling it up. Mike will be doubling it up. Jay will be here. Sean will be here. And you never knew who else. And John's going to be here. We'll see what kind of trouble we can get into. On that note, good night. And have a good end to your 4th of July for anybody that's still not after midnight.
Wax on, wax off.